And good evening, everyone. I'm Blaine Singletary, and welcome to Friday Night in the ARML. I'm joined tonight by Tucker. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, just very tired. It's been a long
Yeah,
week.
it certainly has. I'm with you on that. But we're about to see some serious action in the A1 tonight with our two broadcast colleagues, Jeremy and Nathaniel, going head to head at this table, along with Daniel and B Chen. And that match is set to start in just less than a minute here. So this is our last A1 group to start their season, as you can see on the leaderboards. Otherwise, a pretty interesting tale this first session is painting here. Everyone's still rather close together. It's still, which I suppose is typical of a first session. Uh, People aren't too far apart from each other right now, and definitely things can really shake up as we continue to head through things.
I was thinking not the opposite per se, but if you look at the past few seasons of A1, the final winning score in A1 tends to be somewhere around 150. Even when Huang won with much more than that, second place was at right around 100. So 150 is a typical winning score here, and we're already halfway of that for first and second with Luce and Max. So
That's a
people
good
people
point.
do have quite a lead, but oh my God, Nathaniel's hand here.
Yes, we're getting started with a bang for sure. Nathaniel with already two Onko and two
Ishanten.
pairs, three pairs, in fact. I mean, if you wanted to punch in a Suonko here, that's definitely doable with this hand right here.
Do you call Pone if the Tuso 3P or 8 Mon come out? I feel like you
I
have to.
yeah, I would maybe, but also we're this early. I would kind of maybe wait a little bit. Let's see if the other one comes out. Possibly. As far as other hands around the table, let's take a look at those. On the right, Jeremy is our starting south seat, and we see some sequences in this hand already with a pair and a couple of wests as well. Across the table, we have SJS, that's Daniel,
Oh.
as our starting west seat. And wow, we already have Tenpai, what I'm seeing here. That
North, North, and a possible Sanshoku on the 8
Yes, and that's in the hand on the left right here from Konomura, also known as Beechin, our starting north seat here. So, and take a look. Nathaniel has called Pone, now
Uh-oh.
waiting on the
No.
8 and the 3, but it's going to deal into Beechin, Sanshoku, and the Norths.
A cheap hand, and Nathaniel's hand actually turned out rather cheap as well. If Nathaniel had one on Ron, it also would have only been two Han because it would have been Toy Toy Nomi.
Yeah.
A Sumo would have been a Mangon with Toy Toy and Sananko, but was not to be.
Mm. It's all about expectations versus reality, and well, we saw kind of reality hit us in the face there. But we're continuing on with East 2 now. And in this hand, already three pairs, and Ipeko shot definitely is an expectation here, to go back to what we were talking about before. The door is one Mon. Not seeing those around the table just yet. Over on the left, on the right, another sequence locked in here. Some good shapes popping up. Across the table, some good shapes there as well in Manzu Pinzu, almost the Sozu. And on the left, well, you've got a pair and some shapes forming, but a lot of work to be done here for Nathaniel.
There's Tempai across the table for Beachin. I feel like this is probably going to be a Ricci, although you are giving
There
up
we
the
go.
Sanshoku chance. So this is going to be Ricci Penfu on 3 peen, 6 peen. It will also be Tanyao. 9
Mm.
peen will
So we
just be the Ricci Penfu.
another 10 pie on the right now, waiting on one of the four Mon. Two
And that
fours in the hand across, and there's a one just drawn. Good read there, but that will be Daniel dealing into Bishen for a 4 Han hand with the Uradora for a Mongon. 10,000 points.
so a really snappy fast start here for Beachin.
Absolutely. Starting at 41,000 points. We're already on to East 3. The door is 5 so, and that's probably not going to come into play as much in this hand. It might, for the dealers, I mean. If you see this great and growing presence of the Pinzu right now, excuse me. Lots of sequences, another Ipeko shot in there, a lot
Oh
of
wow.
pairs, picking up another one right just like that. Looking on the
Could
right.
also very reasonably go for Chinitsu at this hand. You could maneuver this into 5 blocks if you're being really generous with how you're counting. We'll see. Yep, and it's throwing away that
Mhm.
1-3 shape in the Manzu to really make sure that that's where this hand goes. That is, of course, maximum value here. And there's an 8
Absolutely.
peen. Just
Oh,
keeps getting the draws.
yeah, the wall is definitely looking out for Daniel here to get him out of from behind here. Meanwhile, though, on the right, we have two Dora in this hand, one of 4 pairs so far. Chitoy might be in the future for this hand, not totally sure at this point, but uh, definitely an option. Looking across the table, we have some good shapes forming up here. This hand looks just about ready to go, if I'm not mistaken. And on the left,
There's Tempai.
yes, Tenpai for the dealer. That Chinitsu is locked in, waiting on the 5 or the 8. We
Or the
see,
2.
or the 2, yes. 2s or 8s, as we see in Jeremy's hand right now. And they're all
Oh,
kind of sticking out like a sore thumb, so it's going to deal
oh, that's
in.
rough.
It'll be Chinitsu uh, oh, with
Ipeko. Oh
Ipeko.
no, Pinfu,
With
Pinfu.
Pinfu. Wow. Well, that definitely hits the reset button. Well, not so much for the table, but gets him up there, and that was a really good shot at the lead for Daniel.
Yeah, I mean that was just like a really nasty hand. You can't blame Jeremy there. Like there's no massive clue that Daniel's just sitting on a Hanuman
Oh,
that
absolutely.
early.
Yeah. Well, speaking of value, well, you have a Dora in this hand for dealer, as Daniel repeats, but it's going to take some work to really get that rolling. A lot of closed weights right now. Nothing really set in stone just yet. For Bishan right now, a good sequence in Pinzu and some pair there. Has a little bit of work to get that one moving. Nathaniel across a couple of pairs. Otherwise, has a shape locked in. Going to need to work on that. But Jeremy right now has a Anko of the West and a good amount of Manzu right now. Seems to be angling towards Honitsu right now with these discards we see so far. Picking up that 2 will definitely help in that pursuit.
I mean that's really the first good draw Jeremy's had. The Pinzu were just refusing to stop coming into his hand. So like finally getting a little bit of improvement there, and now we have a headless Ishan 10 for Nathaniel across the way.
Very nice.
Is actually gonna toss away the 7-9 shape, so it's not headless so much anymore, since the 6-0 is going to end up being the head more than likely. And then Jeremy now Tempai waiting 1 mon 4 mon.
Making 2 very quick calls. The 1 is pretty much dead, unfortunately, but the 4 still has plenty of shots left in the wall.
All 3 of the other 4 mon still in the wall, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
That is Honitsu Haku, so that would be a 3-Han hand for Jeremy. The West not a Yakuhai for him.
Yeah. But good filler in there in this case.
Nathaniel refusing to toss
picking up an
Manzu.
East and picking it up immediately from the dealer. Gutsy move, and it pays off for Jeremy, picking up 5,500 points.
I mean, the once cut East, once you have those 2 calls and you've discarded a couple of Manzu, you know people are aware that you're either Tempai or close to it. Like you could see Nathaniel there was actually tossing away all of his Sozu to avoid throwing any Manzu and feeding Jeremy. And so made the switch to the once cut East, or it might have even been twice cut. I think it was just once cut though.
And it was just once cut, I believe.
And that's so much more likely to flow out of people's hands, because even though they're aware of the Honitsu, they're, you know, the likelihood that you're waiting on that specific tile is very low. We actually have an Ishan 10 already for Daniel on the left for Tanya Dora 1.
Look at that.
And can call that.
Dealer hand, though, not too far behind. Ishan 10 here as well, I believe. Well, not quite.
Ooh.
Well, that 9. Well, you've got your pair now.
And Chanta Ishanten for Nathaniel on the right. Like, Daniel and Nathaniel's hands
Jeez.
are just so fast. Oh, unfortunately, going to have to toss to Dora to take this Ricci, but taking Ricci, Tanyao, Dora 1 for Daniel on the left here.
Waiting on 6 pin, 8 mon. Sorry, 8 so. None of
I
which
want-
are out. Oh, there is an 8 so out across.
Beechin chasing with waiting on 1 Mon, 4 Mon. So two rivaling good weights here. Oh, the 4 immediately
gonna get
comes
the
out. The
four.
Apatsu turn. I was just about to say 3 of them were already cut. So that Ryamen wasn't as good as it looked, but it was just chilling in the wall, waiting to serve Beechin.
Absolutely. I was able to make use of the door in that for some extra points and takes the lead now. Daniel does. East 4 continues, and we have another Dora nicely incorporated into this hand as well. With an Anko of the West, not Yaku high, but that'll help with this hand rapidly coming together, picking up an 8-pin draw right now. And if we look at the other hands around the table, on the right, an Anko of the 7 Mon, and some great pairs in Pinzu there. Across the table, well, that's going to take a little bit more work to do, and sadly, you don't have much time to do it, but Anko of the 9s just picked up. Pretty nice. And Daniel, also going to need some work with this hand. A lot of closed weights, a lot of odd numbers just coming in with that 9, not really helping things in the Pinzu suit very much.
Yeah, Beechin tossed away the 4-5-5-6 shape. It was a little awkward in hand being Ishanten, so threw that 5 just to keep the 1-3-5 Ryankon and the Manzu and the 4-5 Ryanman and so. And basically immediately kind of regrets that as the Dora came into hand next and had to throw that 4-pin right back. Still Ishanten.
Yes.
Ishanten now for Nathaniel as well on the right.
Wow. Coming together for him. Imagine he'd be able to do some damage with the Dora if it comes to him. Definitely help complete a shape as well.
Yeah, that would be Tenpai, although not really the Tenpai he would want. Wouldn't be a fantastic weight.
That's true.
You'd really rather draw, say, the 7-pin or 9-pin or 2-pin. Doesn't really matter which.
Dealer
Oh.
Tenpai now, waiting on the 3 and the 6 so. That 4 pickup, going Dama on this one.
Cannot win like this.
Right. There's no Yaku in this hand. Unless... Well, probably what he's trying to do is go for Sanshoku. To put it in the Sozu there, pick up the 6, I guess, and then
Yeah.
find the 6 for the Manzu as well, or...
Yeah, 3, I mean,
vice versa,
3,
Pumpkins.
yeah, you could pick up the 3-pin as well. 3
drop the
6-mon
6.
already discarded.
Yeah. Might just want to get into Tenpai since we're towards the end of the hand here. Sounds like your most viable strategy at this point, unfortunately.
And this might also be just because Beechin is so far in the lead. Beechin has a relatively low deal-in rate at 11.3% total so far. I believe that is the rate from the fall.
Yes, these are the summer stats you're seeing.
Oh, this is fall, isn't it?
So,
Yeah.
yes. They don't have any stats for fall just yet, but...
Do it, Nathaniel. Do it, Nathaniel. Do it. Khan!
Khan! The new Dora is 1 so inconsequential, unfortunately. But here comes the 4-pin. That's going to fit into Daniel's hand, so I don't see that coming out.
Well, and Nathaniel doesn't have a Yaku anyway, so it wouldn't
true.
deal in. Both Nathaniel and Beechin Tenpai with no Yaku. Jeremy still looking for Tenpai. Daniel, though, can win on either the 6-mon or the 9-mon.
And there's the
Daniel,
6-mon! Dealing in to Daniel, picking up 4,200 points. You know, when you have Tenpai collide like that, that's just, you got to find one way through, and Nathaniel found it there.
That was Daniel that won that
Oh,
hand.
sorry, Daniel. I mean, yeah, Nathaniel's the one that dealt in, right?
How dare they
Daniel
have such
Nathaniel.
similar names?
Ah, yeah. Tongue twisters indeed, but we're moving on to the South round now. South 1, Dora is 3 pin. And a pretty nice hand, pretty good standard start for Nathaniel here. Picking up that 6 mon is going to help things too with these shapes coming together at the moment. Jeremy right now, 2 Dora in this hand, along with some great shapes so far in Manzu and Pinzu. Across the way, there's a couple pairs here for Chun and North. Some closed weights here and some shapes trying to come together. Going to need a little bit of work there. And on the left for Bishen, we see, well, a shape in the Sozu, and that's pretty much it, sadly. Well, that 5 so might help.
And you can see from Jeremy's discards that he went very hard on the Dora very early. Started off with 1 3 3 4 peen and tossed the 4 peen, then the 1 peen on the second and third discard. So determined to use the Dora only as a pair or an Anko, greeting for value there. And it makes sense being just a little bit behind in last year.
Meanwhile, Nathaniel putting his foot on the gas here with these calls. I believe this is Tenpai. Well, not quite. Ishan 10 has to make a little bit of resolution with the rest of these tiles here, but very close.
Jeremy making a nice sideways move. Pulled in the 6 mon and is throwing away the 8-9 Pinchan shape that's very slow and inefficient in favor of the 5-6 Ryanman. A lot more likely to get Pinfu now.
Daniel across the table picking up Anko of Chun and North.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, 2 pairs with that as well. Now we're not going to see Toy Toy or anything, though. Making a quick call here to get into Tenpai. 6 mon, 4 or so is the weight for Chun Nomi? Chun Dora 1.
Yeah, Chun Dora 1, and it is... That's an interesting call, because that hand could have been worth a lot more if you were able to keep it closed, but Nathaniel is Daniel's most direct competitor in points, and almost this 8-so. That's Jeremy's winning tile. That's Ricci Pinfu Dora 2. Okay, Noah Patsu.
Good move there. That would have gotten pretty expensive, but yeah, the 8 and the 5 now dangerous. Only 2 of the 5s out.
And all the 8-so visible to us.
There's the 5 just now, but that's going to fit nicely into Nathaniel's hand. That's not coming out. Now he's Tenpai for 5 mon, 8 mon. For a simple Tanyo.
So 2 more tiles left in the wall for Nathaniel. Oh, just 1 actually. I didn't see that 5 mon that he had called. So 1 tile left in the wall for Nathaniel and 1 tile left in the wall for Jeremy.
Nathaniel considering moving to a double Tonki weight here, or Shanpon, I should say.
I mean, the 7 mon does not look spectacular as far as discards go with the 9 mon Ricci.
Right. Yeah, probably thinking about safety more like it.
The problem is nothing in Nathaniel's hand is safe.
This is true. It's all up to the wall to give him safe tiles. Tension here is once again most of the table in Tenpai. Only Daniel seeming to have folded at this point.
Beechin is out of it as well.
I see that now, yeah. Leaves us with Nathaniel and Jeremy now.
Oh, there's the 8 mon! The final tile on the wall for Nathaniel comes into Jeremy's hand.
And comes right back out on the Ricci. 2,500 points for Nathaniel. Moving on, South 1 with a repeat now. Dora is west. And taking a look at this hand, good start with a shape completed in Manzu and Pinzu. That's pretty much halfway there when you include the Chun pair.
Well, and I mean the shapes are incredible for Nathaniel as well. Yes. I mean the 2, 3, 4, 5 is about as good as any non-2 complete shapes can get.
But not to be outdone is Jeremy right now, calling the Easts early to lock in. Well, that's not a Yaku. but probably looking for Honitsu here, especially with the Dora Wests in hand, already in a pair. Picking that up would be great.
Ishan
Yeah,
10.
Ishan 10 now for that. Calls the
Beat-
West. But look where that came from, though. That came from a hand with, all the dragons, and probably was about to go for them, but that's going to cut short. Jeremy picking up a Mongon there and moving us to South 2.
Yeah, Beechin unfortunately was going to have a rough go of it, seeing as the Chun were Mochi Mochi. Nathaniel had starting off with 2 as well, but Beechin's hand could have gone either Daisongen or Suanko. Had a couple of different Yakuman chances there, but just deals in instead.
Oh.
And that was huge for Jeremy, going into his dealership, now only 3,000 behind third and less than 6,000 behind second. So right in the thick of things.
It's a race to see who's going to be a contender for the lead here as Jeremy picks up the dealership here. Dora 7-mon now. Looking pretty decent start with this hand, especially cleaning up a sequence there in the Sozu. A few other pairs lurking around as well. Daniel, meanwhile, good pairs here as well, with a good shape in the Manzu. Across the way, an early call of the Hatsu, and now a call of the 5-mon, looking like they're going to put the foot on the gas here, Bishen is. It's going to take a little work to get the rest of that hand ready here, but good start. Would like to pick up that 7-mon Dora. 7-mon Dora is, however, in Nathaniel's hand right now, part of some good shapes and a pair right now. A great-looking pair in great-looking shapes, rather, in Sozu. As he gets to Tenpai, calls Riichi.
That's kind of an awkward hand. It looked like the hand wanted to be Junchan, except for the pair of 5-pin.
Right.
Honestly, this looks kind of like a Yaku that I remember from when I first started playing a little bit of HK Mahjong, I think it was, where you have all edge sequences and then your pair is 5s. I feel like that's a Yaku in some version of Mahjong, but not this one. So that's just Riichi Dora 1 for us.
Maybe a local Yaku in some respects, perhaps. But yeah, waiting on the 3-mon here. Only 1 discarded. We see 1 in hand. Other 2 still on the wall.
Beechin trying to put an end to this, though, calling.
But
now
Daniel
Tenpai waiting.
Yeah, Daniel joining in the chase here. Waiting on the 6-pin 3-pin. And picks up the 3-pin. I believe that's a Patsu?
Yeah, Riichi Patsu, Sumo, Dora 2.
And Dora 2! That's Baimon.
Flips a Baimon, and all of a sudden, Daniel's in the lead.
46,000 points. We were talking about the race for contending the lead. Well, Daniel went out and just grabbed it. Incredible play there.
God, that's a catastrophic result for Jeremy. That Sumo just, I mean, that put Jeremy so much further behind.
We may have another catastrophe in the making here already, with Bishen calling Chun and West already, setting up nicely for a very quick Honitsu. It's not worth a whole lot of points, but
what's gonna get in their way is the fact that Nathaniel also has a handful of Manzu.
That is true. There's no monopoly on Manzu right now. But meanwhile, Dealer's hand has the 1, 2, 3s in Pinzu and Sozu. Might be able to finagle that from Manzu, but that's still a ways off.
Yeah, this is Kutsuki Ishanten, just waiting for literally any tile anywhere near the 7-pin or the 6-0 to get to Tenpai.
He could probably gonna go for that, seeing how quickly Bishen has moved ahead here at the start of things. Of course, 1-so is the Dora. There's 1 in that hand. Across the way, a few pairs going on here right now. And some other shapes starting to form up. But Jeremy as well has an Anko of the 9-mon and some good shapes forming up there.
Daniel not liking the 8-pin weight here.
Yeah.
Also is the 6-0. Is staying Dama, but can't win this. I feel like with a Dora in hand, you kind of just need to toss in the stick, especially if you're going to take the Tenpai, because It's not
Mm,
like your weight's going to get much better at all here. The only improvement would be the 6 pin.
yeah. And there was the 8-pin dropped. Couldn't call it because I don't think there's a Yaku in this hand yet. Well, wouldn't it be? No, it can't be Pinfu because the weight is closed. So sadly
Nathaniel.
missing out on the weight there because
Nathaniel
of
doing a
Eco and the stick.
Katagiri. Nathaniel was Tempai already, drew a 6 pin and tossed it from hand to try and make it look like his weight is somewhere around that 6 pin, trying to disguise this Monzu weight here.
Hmm. See, looks like. Never mind. See, Daniel looks like probably folding at this point after the 8-pin came out. Oh, there it is again. You hate to see it.
Yeah, probably just didn't want to call Rishi and potentially deal in and lose the lead.
That's a good point too. It's quite a good lead he's got so far. More than a mon gone away. Meanwhile, Bishen has just had no luck moving forward. Oh, that might help. But you'd have to get rid of the 3 mon, which is dangerous. And there he goes.
But it doesn't deal in anymore. Nathaniel just shifted his hand from
Oh.
2-3-4 to 1-2-3.
Unfortunate.
Was worried about the one so potentially dealing into a Chata from Beechen. And looking at Beechen's discards, you can see where that thought came from for Nathaniel. The 4-so certainly does look a little bit safer. But it did cost Nathaniel the win.
Yes. And that'll be the end of this hand with Nathaniel taking the chips, gaining 3,000 points as we head into all last.
Honestly, that result might have been better for Nathaniel. His hand was not worth 3,000 points.
This is true. So good shifting there. Oh, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
I'm looking at Beechen's hand and just I just immediately see a 6-7-8 Sanshoku potential here. The 8-so is Dora. Like, this is the perfect hand for Beechen to reclaim the lead. What do you see?
Well, I mean, yeah, I see a very ready to go hand. Has a Dora as well. Don't forget that. So a quick hand with also has a good amount of points, so you don't need to totally rely on this next shot coming up should he convert. Meanwhile, I'm seeing a lot of honors and wins around the table. Well, honors are wins, but you know what I mean.
They're kind of stuck everywhere.
Yeah, it's not really. It's like I saw Ichiban's hand, I saw Jeremy's hand, and I was thinking maybe Kokoshi, but that was still. I counted again, and it was still pretty far off. I'm seeing possible Honitsu chances. I mean, for Nathaniel, definitely seems to be angling towards the Pinzu there, as you can see in the discards.
But with so many loose honors still,
yeah.
I mean, everybody's just so clogged up here.
There's potential, but it's going to take a lot to get moving. Daniel making a call of the 1-pin here, looking like he's going for Toy Toy here. You see an Anko of the 4-mon and 2 pairs to go along with it, but then you have 2 of those just floating honors that aren't doing anything. And the thing is, everyone's hanging on to them too. You see this? They're waiting for another pair of them to come in hand, perhaps.
Well, we kind of have to think about everyone's win conditions here. So Daniel's win condition is finish the game. Beechen needs to win this hand. Doesn't matter if it's fast or expensive. You just want to get out ahead, continue your dealership. Jeremy needs at least a Mangan Sumo to take third away from Nathaniel. Since there's a Honba on the table, a Mangan Sumo would put Jeremy about 400 points ahead of Nathaniel, I believe. And then Nathaniel needs a Mangan to get above 30k.
Well,
we do have
Tenpai for Daniel, waiting on the Chun and the 2-pin. And this is when those clogged up honors start to get dangerous. if you waited on them this long, it's kind of hard to justify discarding them at this point with none others cut right now.
Yeah, well, Jeremy has really no reason to play anything dangerous. Like at this point, your hand can't get you to third place, so you have to hope that Beachin wanting first will stay Tempai, and that you'll get another shot at it. And Beachin does in fact get the 7-pin sumo. Yes. So that's gonna be Pinfu Sumo Sanshoku Dora 1, I believe,
and
for
that's
the Mangon.
Right there. Incredible. Yeah, just a very quick pickup of the dealer, and had he called Ricci, it would have been Ipatsu, but didn't need to. That's plenty enough points as it is. And take a look at this hand. He's got a chance to make even more points. Look at that Ipeco just about ready to go. The other shapes, a little bit to be desired, but they can be finagled into something to kick this thing in, especially with
I don't know. They look pretty good to me.
You know what? Yeah, now they look
I'm a
better.
pretty huge fan of those shapes.
Yeah, I see your point. They're good.
Especially with the Dora 7-mon.
Oh, yes, 7-mon Dora, of course. In the hand on the right, we see, well, not a whole lot happening here. Now you got a shape in the Sozu just about finished. Some other pairs starting to come into play. Across the way, lots of pairs in Manzu here, 5, 7, and 8. And on the left for Daniel Anko, the 7-pin right now, and good shapes in Sozu and Pinzu. That hand's very close.
That felt like it should be Tempai for Jeremy, but it wasn't. No real, despite all the pairs, no way for Jeremy to call Ricci and get ahead. Oh, but that's the perfect draw! Ooh. Jeremy now has 2 Dora Ipeco Pinfu. A sumo would put Jeremy into third place, and we have a chase from Daniel
chasing. Incredible, waiting on the 5-mon, 8-mon there.
So 5-mon, 8-mon versus 4-pin, 7-pin. Jeremy's hand worth much more than Daniel's. But Daniel doesn't, well, Daniel's hand not quite enough to get there. Did Beachin just enter Tempai as well?
I think so.
He did. 6-mon, 9-mon. Oh,
but the 4-pin's picked up.
Ipatsumo for Jeremy. That's massive. Ricci, Ipatsu, Sumo, Pinfu, Ipeco, 2 Dora for a Hanuman.
Wow. 14,600 points added to that total. That's going to get him to third, I believe, at the very least. Yep.
Very respectable third.
Very much strong third here. But it'll be Bishan taking home the first win here, 42,500 points. That'll be 27.5 in the UMA score. Daniel taking home 11.7. A strong third once again for Jeremy, 11.2 down. That's only that. And Nathaniel will lose 28 points even. But as you can see on the leaderboard, it has been updated, as you can see. Everyone's still rather close, and we've got the other 3 games coming up for you tonight, so definitely don't go away. We're going to see these, their next round start in just a minute or 2 here.
Yeah, I mean, that was such a wild round. I mean, Beachin was never below 30k. Beachin was kind of dominant in the entire game. Daniel took that Baimon to get above 30k and stayed there. But it was still, I mean, it's not like anybody played poorly. It was just the tiles came to certain players and everybody played their hands very well. There were a couple deal-ins, but the deal-ins weren't mistakes. The deal-ins were either very sneaky because of how early they were, or because someone had called Ricci. If I was gonna criticize anything, it would just be a couple of very, very defensive damas. But even that, like, I mean, I'm not one to criticize defense. I don't mind taking a safe approach really at all.
It's just that the A1, as we've seen, can be a very offensive league, you know, not offensive in that it's horrible to look at. You know what I mean? Very attack oriented, very big hands, bombs dropping everywhere. As you said, the top people in the league last season having 3-digit scores at the top. And we're already halfway there, as you pointed out, in our top players right now.
Beachin was actually, who came out first in our first Hanshan there, was at the table with a shot at the league championship last season and just got edged out by Kenyon at the end.
He is on perfect track to get another crack at that lead once again as we get started with game 2 here in the A1. Our starting Dora is North. We see one of those in Bishan's hand. He's starting dealer. Otherwise, though, a hand that's going to take some work has a pair and a sequence in Pinzu. That's really about it right now. Daniel, meanwhile, our starting south seat, has some couple of pairs here and some shapes coming together. Jeremy up top, our starting west, has a shape in Manzu, some Pinzu trying to come together, and a pair in the Sozu. And on the left, our north seat is Nathaniel. And good presence in the Pinzu here. Good shapes, nothing really connected just yet, but a decent start.
Some sort of slow hands around the table. Beechin's hand looked like, really feels like it should be Ishanten having 2 complete shapes in it, but has no 5th block. That 3-peen helps.
Yeah, that's true. You could always cut the 1 for 1, 2, 3, and then wait on a 3, 4, 5, or pick up another 2.
Anko of the Hatsu now for Daniel. And Jeremy's cut 3 5-peen.
Yeah, those Hatsu, I don't remember being there when I was going through the hands before.
They just kind of materialize out of thin air.
Yeah, dragons tend to do that. And Jeremy completing some shapes up top.
That is Ishanten.
Ishanten.
Ooh, Ricci from Beechin.
Oh, wait on the Ipeco now for the 2-pin, which is just about dead, unfortunately. Only 1 left in the wall, 2 in the hands. Pretty well locked up.
I wonder why Beechin didn't... Oh, is it because of the 5-peen Kabe? Yes. Okay. Beechin could have discarded 1-peen, and that would have been Ricci Pinfu, but it would have been waiting 2-peen, 5-peen. And I mean, as we could see, the 5-peen are kind of bust at this point.
Yeah, but now the 2-peen are also bust, as the last one picked up by Daniel.
But Beechin doesn't know that.
No, he doesn't. It's a beautiful day, as far as Beechin can see.
Yeah, Nathaniel throwing away safe tiles. Daniel has tossed some safe tiles through the entire Anko of Hatsu. Jeremy also throwing safe tiles. It looks like everybody just kind of folding here.
Yeah.
No clear paths to Tenpai for any of them.
And not a whole lot of value either, for what I can see. So, nothing of value being lost as we burn these hands down.
No one respected the Paydora.
No.
That's the issue.
North rarely gets respect, I've found. It's the last win.
It's because all of these ridiculous Yonma players.
Indeed. Well, that'll be Bishan picking up the draw here. 3,000 points and continuing on as dealer. You were saying?
I was just gonna say, as a Sama player myself, Pei is by far my favorite Dora. It's so exciting whenever it happens.
Yeah. Pretty nice when all Norths can just be a Dora you call on the side, in addition to the rest of your hand.
Nathaniel with starting with the what's it called? Honitsu. That's the one.
Yes, half flush. A very nice start. We have the Wests already called, Souths waiting in hand as an Anko. None of those are Yakuhai, so you're not going to get any points from that. But this can be a very quick half flush.
Well, the South is Dora, so that is Honitsu Dora 3.
Okay, yeah, forget Yakuhai. You got 3 Han.
Could even be Toy Toy. And it is!
He's got it, yes. 4,
oh my god.
Waiting on the 4 and the 9, so now 1 left in the wall of each. And 1 is in hand across, not likely to come out, and 9 has been discarded.
What a disaster. I mean, to anybody else, this hand might look like just a normal Toy. Now we have a Ricci from Jeremy with 2 Montuso Shenpon. Nathaniel won't fold against this, I don't think. But if Jeremy has the misfortune of drawing that 9-so or the 4-so, we'll get hit pretty hard.
Two-mon just about dead. 2-so is dead. There's one two-mon left on the wall. We might see it come out from Daniel, but I think he's going to be pretty... Well, this hand looks just about ready. Not a whole lot of value, so I don't really see if he's going to push that or not. Oh, and there's the 4-so.
4-so certainly doesn't look safe, though.
No.
Yeah, 4-peen looks fine.
Yeah.
From Daniel's perspective, there's a Kabe on the 5-peen. Can see all 4 5-peen, so the 4-peen look like a perfectly good discard. Maintaining an Ishanten here. There's the last 9-so coming into Beechin's hand.
Onto that. Yeah, they went to Tenpai without many big prospects, these players. Oh, we're going to see a Khan. He's going to hang on to it. Daniel's going to hang on to that Khan for the Chun.
Might do it here. Hope for the Rinchan.
Oh, the Rinchan's a two-mon. The last two-mon. He's going to throw it.
Oh.
I guess a second-hand Rinchan in this case for Jeremy. That's not worth any points. I just made that up. But there's a Dora. That'll give him a cool few thousand points.
Second-hand Rinchan. It's like a Chan-Con with a delay.
There you go. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. But look at this hand now from Daniel. Getting a little bit of forgiveness this time. Great shapes in Pinzu. Picking up that 5-pin as well. It's going to definitely help bring things home here. The only problem is you've got 4 different honors that is going to slow this thing down. But wow, picking up a South already. Never mind. This is going to go real quick.
Well, you're having to race Jeremy and Nathaniel,
yes.
Both of whom have incredibly fast hands.
Yes, the Haku called pretty quickly for Jeremy. Good shapes here coming together as well. Across the way, Nathaniel with good sequences at the moment.
In before Jeremy and Nathaniel have dueling Pei-Tonki weights. Dora Pei-Tonki. Oh no, Nathaniel, you gave up on it. Why?
Oh no.
Coward.
I swear, commentator's curse was a huge thing last night. I think it's gonna be a big thing this season.
It's okay. Jeremy won't let me down. Jeremy will end up Pei-Tonki on the Dora.
Jeremy's
I believe it.
Friend. He runs many of these broadcasts. So shout out to Jeremy.
Ooh, that's a good draw for Beechin. That 3-mon filling in definitely his worst shape. It's a good Ishanten now.
Very nice. Not a whole lot of value, but you kind of want to shut down these snowballing hands right now. Snowballing or perhaps snow shoveling. Snow plowing? Is that the word I'm looking for?
I mean, Daniel is just like sitting inside waiting for the snow to melt, I think. Like, has gotten absolutely no improvements until the moment I started talking about it.
We may have the power to grant people their wishes here. We just need to talk about it. Oh, 9-so coming up. He's going to drop that 9-pin he long waited for. It's the 9-so, while it has been discarded twice, does look a little dangerous on that Ricci from Beechin.
That is Ricci Pinfu on the left for Beechin. On 6-so, it will also be Tanyao. On 9-so, it will not be.
Right. Have all
the pay now totally safe as 3 have been discarded.
So no waiting on those. Oh, he gets the 6 now. We're gonna see him trade the. Oh, and he's gonna go for it, throwing it. And that'll deal in.
Yeah, it got a little too attached to his hand there.
Dora is gonna make this a Mongon though for Beechin. Sad news for Daniel, but it is just East 3 as we move on.
So many honors floating about this round.
Once again, just like the end of the last game, we see a lot of honors in Jeremy's hands starting us off here. Gonna need to reconcile those somehow. Already discarding the East, which would have been double East, and also West. Dora's 5-pin. We see him keeping a space for that in that part of the hand. Otherwise, a little bit of work to be done here. Nathaniel has good shapes, good shapes in Pinzu right now. Might
Possible
be getting
Itsu.
yeah, Itsu, Honitsu, any kind of flush you want could be happening here. Ooh, good pickup of the south. That's the seat wind.
Oh, I wasn't even thinking Honitsu. I was just thinking a straight.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens with that 5-6 in the Sozu. That's kind of what determines it. Picking up another 7 here. What's he going to do with that?
Might toss the Haku first. Nah, just
Oh,
straight.
no, he is going flush.
With the 5 being Dora, that makes the Honitsu a lot more attractive. And whereas the past few times we've seen people go for Honitsu, there's been another player with a slew of that suit. In this case, everybody's only got 3, so not gonna hold Nathaniel up much. Jeremy now going Atazuke for the Haku.
Yeah.
With that 9-mon pawn.
Yeah, the question is, where's the Dora hiding? And it's hiding in Daniel and Bishen's hands right now. Not really. Both a 3-5 shape is what they're sitting in right now, not completed. Now the people who are waiting on the Dora don't have it, and the people who have the Dora are waiting on the Dora indicator. Kind of an awkward situation all around.
It's especially awkward for Daniel, as Daniel would like to make a 1-2-3 Sanshoku with this hand. But the 1-pin pair is, well, you have a pair of 2-mon now, so just getting the Sanshoku would kind of require you ditching the Dora 5-pin. We see Nathaniel might be a little hesitant to discard the Haku. It hasn't been discarded by anybody yet, so Nathaniel probably rightfully assuming Jeremy wants it.
Good count there, but every Pinzu you pick up, you start to think, do I want to chase?
Ooh, Sanshoku Dama for Beachin. That's Tanyao, Dora, Sanshoku. That is a Mangan.
Still waiting on that Dora indicator, though. 4-pin. There's still one left in the wall. So, is it going to come out? 20 tiles to go.
That south is going to get Nathaniel to Tenpai. 5-pin.
And there goes the Haku, though. And that'll be called by Jeremy.
So, 5-pin wait for Nathaniel. 5-pin, 8-pin wait for Jeremy. 4-pin wait for Beachin.
Do you think we see any more Pinzu discarded the rest of this hand? Well, there you go. But it's a safe one.
The upper Pinzu don't look horrible. There's the Sumo for Beachin!
Finds that elusive 4-pin and is going to convert, picking up a Mangan there.
And that's going to drop Jeremy below 30k, so Beachin now the only player above 30k, which is a pretty massive advantage in the UMA and the after round score calculations.
Big lead like that, plus the UMA bonus, that's going to put him pretty close, if not surpassing the lead, I would imagine. Imagine you can do the scores a whole lot faster in your head than I can, though.
Yeah, it would put him 5 points in the lead. Exactly.
Wow. Incredible. Well, moving on to East 4 here. Dora is 6, so that could fit into this hand, but otherwise, great shapes otherwise. You might want to just ditch the 5 so at this point and go with what you've got. Oh, but there it is. Never mind. 6, the Dora is picked up and nicely incorporated now. Bishen, meanwhile, has some good shapes in Sozu himself. Good shapes in the other suits as well. That hand's coming together beautifully. Daniel across the way, good shapes as well. In the Sozu, Pinzu, a pair there as well. And on the left for Jeremy, also a Dora in this hand. And he's getting there, but as far as people who are already there, Nathaniel is with this Shanpon Wait 2-mon 4-pin, but no Yaku here because of the 7-8-9 shape. So that 2 that comes out will not deal in.
Really wants to draw an upgrade in the Pinzu. A 6-mon would also be pretty nice. Taking Nathaniel now, taking a step back to Ishanten. Typically, if you're looking to improve your weight, it's better to do so from Ishanten than from Tenpai. And so we see that backward step there. And we see Daniel across the way getting Tenpai. That's a San Menchan weight. 147 so for Richi Pinfu, possible Tanyao, Dora 1.
Big
Eat.
bunch of things to take with you. But there's the
Oh,
Ricci, but that's going to deal in. Dealer deals in there for that 4-Han hand. No Ura, but it'll be another Mongon lobbied, this time by Daniel.
that was a pretty huge win for Daniel.
Indeed. That's going to put him in a nice third place position. Easy shot to second at this point, especially because we're just getting into the half. It's South 1. And the door right now is for Mon. And looking at the dealer's hand now, we see good shapes forming up so far.
Love to see a 5-6-7 Sanshoku here.
Indeed. You got a 6-7-8 Manzu, but that can be easily tweaked. But look at this hand on the right for Daniel. Anko in the 3-pin, 2 pairs also in Pinzu. We already have Tenpai in the dealer's hand, 1 and 4. And there's the 1.
There it is.
Ooh.
The classic Pinfu Nomi.
Oh, Pinfu Nomi just... Sorry.
The Jade Room special, I like to call it.
Oh, yes. Shoutouts to Jade Room and Mahjong Soul. Maybe I'll see you one day. No, I'm still stuck in silver. But anyway, a good hand for Bishen as he continues this domination here, now nearing 50k. Dora is 1 so, and he's got 2 of them. It's going to be a slower hand to capitalize with those, but he's making progress. We'll keep an eye on that. Looking at Daniel's hand, that's going to take a little bit more work, I think, but we're getting some pairs together here. Probably thinking about what best to do with these right now. And Jeremy across the way, I see an Itsu in the future for Sozu here. Just a few tiles left to make that a pure straight. And for Nathaniel, ooh, good shapes in Pinzu here so far.
That's Tenpai.
That is Tenpai.
Does not want it, though.
Oh, okay.
Who wants a worthless Tenpai like that? Tanyao Nomi? Ridiculous. Jeremy getting the Itsu, the Itsu Tenpai here. Needs the Forso for Itsu, otherwise it is just Richidora Pinfu. But those Forso are pretty well hidden away in Nathaniel's hand. Yeah, you're right. The 7-so also a winning tile.
Mm-hmm. But
just
that's
not the fun
also
one.
Almost dead. There's only one of those left in the wall. 1 discarded, 1 in Bishen's hand. Not likely to come out. Meanwhile, Daniel just racking up more Manzu here. Putting that one back. And we see a chase on the Ricci from Nathaniel.
There's that better weight that he really wanted. 2-pin, 5-pin, 8-pin.
Great weight this time.
Ricci Tanyao.
Yeah, 2's still pretty live. 8 looks okay. Ooh, calls a con on the Forso.
The closed con. So Jeremy now seeing in despair that his Itsu is totally dead.
Oh no.
Nathaniel making a very good decision to call the con there. If he doesn't, he deals in.
Absolutely ruining Jeremy though.
Oh,
but he picks up the 7!
The final 7-so in the wall comes into hand.
Wow. Incredible turn of fate there. Picking up an Uradora as well, just for the heck of it. 10,000 points added to the total there.
Wow. Oh my god.
Incredible. Just when you think all hope is lost, that happens. Now that puts him in a very strong second, just spitting distance from the lead now. And he'll have a dealer turn in just a little bit as we head into South 2. But yeah,
Daniel, though.
This hand from Daniel.
Suwanko Tushantin. But this is one where you definitely don't need to force Suwanko. You already have the Chun and 2 Dora. Chun Toy Dora 2 is a Mongon. If you can get that 3rd Dora, there's your 18k that would more than likely put you in first.
Absolutely. Just punch all the way from 3rd here.
You're going to have to race Beachin, though, who's already called the Seatwind North as the non in hand. And can also call Pone on the 7-so and the 6-pin. So a very fast hand for Beachin.
And calls Pone on the South as you were mentioning that. So yeah, he's going to wrap this up pretty quick. Oh, there's the 3. I believe that's Tenpai. No,
not yet.
Not quite. Almost.
Just a better Ishanten.
Absolutely. Better get these other hands in quick, but good shapes for Jeremy. That's looking pretty nice. If this been any other hand, I would have say that has a good shot, but I don't know. It's gonna have some work to do in a very short time. Across the way.
Daniel's hand is yet to improve.
Yes. That's the curse of a great high pie, is that you have nothing that fits into it, so you end up just discarding most of your draws, as we're seeing here. See, Nathaniel's got an Anko of the 2-so right now. Good shapes forming up.
Finally, Ishan 10 for Daniel, though
Oh,
not
Nathaniel
for Toy Toy.
Is now 10 pie, waiting for 8 and the 5.
And the 2, which is dead.
And the 2, yes. Yeah.
Beachin really thinking about calling Chi here. Decides not to. An interesting decision. Beachin can't really play defense. Is probably considering that 3-so to be especially dangerous, hoping to pull in a safer tile on draw. But nothing in Beachin's hand is safe. Oh, but there's 10 pie!
It's 10 pie. If you want to put the 3-pin back, and he does, 6-pin 3-so is the weight here. 6-pin dead. 6-pin dead, and so is the 3-so, unfortunately, because that's one of the pairs in this monster hand from Daniel. Looks like he's trying to reconfigure it slightly and just get something, but this is...
I mean, Daniel has had one hand improvement in 2 full rows of draws. Like, yeah,
I think he's folding now. At least he's discarding one of those extra chun. I mean, 7 pairs still not out of the playbook at this point, but
sometimes you just have to accept that the wall is not going to do you any favors.
No. It's sad, but know when to call it quits, and that's what we're seeing. Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's 7 pair. The 8-so is totally safe.
And there you go.
Oh wait, that's the 8-so isn't what needed to be tossed, is it?
No, it was the 6-so.
Oh, the 9-pin is going to deal into the Chi Toy. Chi Toy Dora 2. That's going to be 9,600 for Daniel, getting over 30K. And that's a tragic hit for Nathaniel.
Oh, no. Wow. It's just, again, right when you think it's all over, you get the great draw, which leads to a deal and a cross. Daniel now sitting pretty at 32,000. Wow, I think we went from one person above 30K, that was Bishen, and now everyone over 30K, except for Nathaniel, who now has a long road ahead.
Nathaniel does have a pretty nice 2-shanten here, though.
Yeah. If you want to start building back up, that's the hand to do it with. You have 2 shapes locked in, a pair in the Manzu, almost a shape in the other 2 blocks as well. So good moving there. Our dealer, meanwhile, though, this hand looks pretty nice as well. Got a Dora 5-pin. But take a look at Jeremy calling Ricci on a 3-pin, 6-pin. Immediate chase from Nathaniel. And he's going to wait on the 1 and 4 mon.
Ricci Dora 1 for Jeremy. Ricci Pinfu for Nathaniel.
There's the 4 mon. Hanging on to it, but there's the 6-pin. That'll deal into that to Jeremy for 2 Han here. Sadly, that's going to bring Nathaniel under 0, sitting at negative 100 now.
It's always so depressing when you see that negative score pop up, but in the league, negative is not the end for you. So Nathaniel very much can still fight back, especially being the final dealer.
Absolutely. We've seen just last night incredible rises from 4th place, so all is definitely not lost. Take a look at this hand as we move into South 3. 1-so is the Dora. That would fit nicely into this hand with Jeremy as he assumes the dealership. Good shapes here as well. Not a bad start at all.
Ooh, Nathaniel not wanting the double south is holding out for more value. I don't know. I feel like there could have been... I don't know what value Nathaniel's really going to make here. Perhaps holding out for a 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku, something along those lines. Maybe a Pinfu, maybe an Apeiko. The double south, though, would have felt like the quickest way to get to your dealership. It's no matter how much value the hand you win now is, you're gonna have to go on a run as dealer no matter what.
Right. I feel like the Souths could have been a good complement to that Sanshoku, perhaps, but well, it gives them a little bit more wiggle room to make that. So you see some pretty wide shapes in this hand as a result.
And it's going to give a lot of time to all of these other hands. I mean, Jeremy Atazuke, hoping to pull in the tune at some point. Beechin has an Anko of the Dora, bad shapes, so it's going to be hard for Beechin to get to Tempai, but it's still there. And then Daniel has been Ishanten once again for a bit and just can't find it. Would love to call a north to get there.
Jeremy picking up the tunes, moving into Tenpai now, waiting on the 5 and the 8 so.
Which is almost certain to come out of Nathaniel's hand at some point here.
Nathaniel just
very
picking
soon.
up the 5, but he's going to drop the 8 and losing more points to Jeremy here. Dealership continues.
And this is one of the reasons why, even though you are looking at your score and feeling like you need a bunch of value, with your dealership being next and the last dealership, I really would have liked to see a south pawn from Nathaniel.
I agree. We're continuing with South 3 now. Dora is north. And looking at this hand, good shape so far for our dealer. I want to look across the way where Bishen has called an early Chi for 4, 5, 6. Looking like angling towards Honitsu there, but you have 3 unique honors you're going to have to figure out what to do with here. But you do have the Dora North, so that's going to definitely help things get value very quickly. Ooh, that 3-so pickup is excellent as well.
Daniel also getting a very good pickup with the 8-peen. Is now Ishanten as well. A Haku call would get Daniel to Tempai.
Nathaniel, meanwhile,
or a 6-peen draw.
There. Oh, yes, and now Daniel in Ricci. 4-mon and the Haku are his weights. 4-mon still live, and we don't see any other whites other than the ones in his hand right now. Pretty good start.
It'll be interesting to see how much Beechin's willing to push with Honitsu Dora 2 here.
He is still... It's not by much, though. Less than 20k from second.
We once again have the question, though, of if Beechin does decide to fold, what on earth is he going to fold with? Beechin has had so many hands this round where, I mean, has avoided dealing in, but has had a lot of hands where it's like, well, he kind of just has to push because he doesn't have any other options.
No safe tiles.
This 1-so would get Beechin to Tempai if Nathaniel discards it. Does not. Oh, but Tempai anyway!
Oh,
1-so,
incredible.
4-so, wait for Beechin.
One more Dora to finish that one off.
Uh-oh. That's not a good draw for Nathaniel.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no deal in. Oh, but there's the Haku! And that is going to deal in.
Oh, no.
Oh, if there's Ura, this could switch placement. Oh, there's none. So it's not going to hurt Beechin much. It's going to drop Beechin into second, but by only 1,100 points. So almost practically any win would get Beechin first. Although, you know, if you end up with 1 Han 30 Fu, that's the only situation. A 1 Han 30 Fu run on someone other than Jeremy would leave Beechin in second. Everything else would be a first.
Just 100 points.
Nathaniel with the hand he needed, though. Ishanten already. He needs to draw a 3-peen and fast.
Oh, the 4-pin. Close.
That's fine. You probably just take it. If you draw a 5, you can discard away from the 1-1-2-2 shape and have a nice complex Ishanten. Has a Dora. Oh, tossing away the 4, though.
Bishen also making considerable progress here. Great shapes in Sozu has a pair of north and green.
There's Tempai for Nathaniel, waiting 1-peen, 2-peen. Set up the Suji trap for the Champon.
Ooh, incredible. And there's the 2-pin going into Jeremy's hand right now. As far as that hand, it's not really in ready shape. It's almost there, though, so I don't know if we see Jeremy push on that, though. Especially considering his position. Daniel picking up another pair for his hand.
Both Beechin and Daniel just tossing save tiles,
Hmm.
no matter how helpful they are to their own hands.
Yeah.
We might see them still maneuver into Tempai, but for the moment, just playing it safe. That 8-so was not exactly safe from Jeremy. Jeremy being a little bit pushy. The Sozu do look incredibly cheap. And this hand really isn't worth much. It's just Richidor 1.
Oh, picking up the 1 pin now for Jeremy.
Jeremy has 2 7-mon in hand. So as long as Jeremy plays disciplined here, won't deal in.
Yes, and there goes one of them. That 1 pin still left in the wall. 11 tiles to go. To see if it comes out. Could be in the dead wall. Oh, look at that.
Oh, there it is.
Daniel, but there's the 1 pin, and it's going out. Dealing into Nathaniel, who needs these points. 4,900. That'll get him back above 0.
And we'll put Beechin into first place. That was a very hard situation for Jeremy. Jeremy ran out of Genbutsu, had Suji 7-so and Suji 1-pin. Typically, Suji terminals are better. The Sozu were so cheap, though, that I wonder whether the 7-so would have been a better drop. With such an early Ricci from Nathaniel, you do figure that it's going to not be a Rionman, more likely to be some sort of off-weight. But as it is, probably not a lot to do to avoid that, at least eventually. Even if you drop the 7-so and it goes by, you probably just drop the 1-pin next round. So not much to do there.
Well, take a look at this opening hand from Nathaniel now. 4 pairs from the start. Has a Dora shape queuing up. And this could be another quick one that does have a little bit of heft to it, even, perhaps.
Daniel Ishanten is going to be the biggest roadblock for Nathaniel here.
Yes, I see that. That's brewing up pretty nicely, too. Pretty wide Ishanten, too, if I'm not mistaken.
Having being headless with an Anko of 9-so is always going to be a very good situation. Nathaniel, I think, going for Toy here. That's Tempai for Daniel, calling Ricci waiting on the Dora indicator tile, the 8-mon.
Which could spell trouble for Nathaniel here if he goes forward with this Toy. As we see, though, the other 8s are dead. Well, they're in hand. They're in Jeremy's hand, to be specific. And they're part of pretty good shape in the Manzu right now. Though there is 1 extra in that case.
Jeremy in a kind of fascinating score position here. I think Jeremy has to push. If you let Daniel win, you almost certainly end up third. Even if you deal in, you're unlikely to end up below 30K. So I don't feel like there's a lot keeping Jeremy from going for first place here. That's Tempai. 6-mon, 9-mon.
Very nice weight there.
There's 1 more 9-mon left in the wall, and 1 more 6-mon. And that actually puts a huge damper on Daniel's winning prospects, as Jeremy had most of the remaining 8-mon.
Yeah. And Nathaniel's winning prospects, well, I don't really see him able to win at this point, sadly.
Nathaniel's best hope is to get to Tempai. Nathaniel is just going to do anything, going to call for K10 here. Hopefully is able to use all of those Manzu. Tossing away a pair of 2-pin.
Okay. I think it's a good move there to get to K10.
6-pin's fine, as is 2-pin. But running out of time, and there's the sumo for Jeremy. So
I'll put an end to this match.
Ricci sumo Dora 1, that's enough for Jeremy to take first, and is going to keep Nathaniel from going on a roll to get out of that last place.
Cool 30 points even for Jeremy here. And Bishen picking up 16 points of his own, 16 and a half just about. Daniel with 3.4. Sadly, Nathaniel, the only one below 30K, so that's going to sting a little bit more, losing 49.8 points here, and that'll send him down to 19th place as this leaderboard fills out.
We always say that, in this first session, in the first two sessions, really, after every single game, we're like, but there's still a lot of Mahjong to play. That doesn't change how horrible it feels to be down so far so early. That minus 77.8, especially in A1, where the competition is so fierce, it just really drains you, especially since coming in last in that first game was kind of just unfortunate. Jeremy hitting a Hanuman in all last to tank you.
Well, it's many divisions like that. I mean, every new season, hope springs eternal. You're like, this is going to be the one where I'm going to try maybe a new strategy. I'm going to try some new tactics, see how that gets me. And then when you see that just kind of run headfirst into a brick wall and send you at the lower part of the leaderboard, that can be disheartening. But yeah, there is still that reality that there is more Mahjong to play. There's time to refine those strategies. There's time to strike back for sure.
And looking at the stats here, we do see our players that we're watching now. Beechin, as was mentioned before, was in the championship match last season. Not it's not like the win rate and the deal in rate are particularly impressive. 20.1 is one of the lowest win rates, actually the second lowest win rate, I believe, in all of A1. Oh no, the third lowest in all of A1. But that win average at over 5,700, and then the deal in rate being 11.3 with such a low value deal in. That's where Beechin's success is coming from. Dealing in at the right times, pushing at the right times, not getting to that 10% margin that we talk about between win and deal in. That often gets thrown around as the ideal margin between win and deal in, but the value of the hands are more than making up for that.
Definitely positioning himself to be a serious contender in this league. Well, it'll be a few more minutes till we get to the next game, so we're going to take a short break, get up and stretch, get some water, and we'll be back for even more action in the A1 League coming up in a bit. And we're back. Welcome back to the ARML. I'm Blaine Singletary, joined by Tucker, as we get ready for Game 3 of this A1 Division Showdown season opener. Pretty great action so far. Sure to see even more in the next 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a wild ride, and I expect that to be exactly the same.
There's the gong as we get get going here. Bishen is our starting dealer, with the Dora being 5 mon to start. Sorry, 5 pin to start with. Good Manzu shapes. Great one in Sozu. And that 2 pin will help things out as well. Our starting south seat will be Daniel. Good shapes in this hand as well. Anko of the 5 mon. That's pretty nice.
Ooh, there's a Dora 5 pin.
Ooh, very nice. That's going to fit perfectly into this hand. Across the way, our starting west seat is Nathaniel, with good shapes here in this hand as well. And on the left, Jeremy is our starting north, with some good 7-8-9 Sanshoku potential, perhaps. It's a little bit of a ways off, though. We could see perhaps a Junjan, or something with the east, perhaps. Well, we have Ricci already called by Daniel, waiting on the 8-so.
For just Ricci Dora 2.
Very respectable starting hand. Give yourself a good modest lead.
Beachin, though, will almost certainly chase right now. 1 pin, 4 pin looks like a pretty good weight. Not calling Ricci yet. Perhaps wanting a little bit more value from this. Oh, actually, isn't Tempai? This is headless. There's no pair. I always miss these things.
Oh,
now
yeah.
we might see a chase.
There we go. Waiting on the 2 or the 5 mon.
And the Manzu look cheap on this board right now. 2 mon especially is Genbutsu to Daniel. No one's holding it though. So you can't toss a safe tile if you're not holding onto it. Oh, but it comes into Daniel's hand.
Unless you pick it with Ricci. So there you go. 3,900 points. With the 2 sticks in the middle, going to be 5,900 points for a modest lead for Bishen. Starting things off.
I wish we'd been counting the number of deal-ins while in Ricci in this series here. We've seen about 37 of them so far by my approximations.
I wouldn't doubt it. That's really the only way we're seeing deal-ins, just about. Which kind of speaks to the defensive awareness of these players in A1 for sure.
I mean, Beachin is well known for his defensive play, and Nathaniel actually a very defensive player as well, who has been pushing like more and more the longer ARML has continued, and he's gotten more into the swing of things.
Let's take a look at this hand starting off for the dealer. Pretty neat, nice, decent shapes right now. The door is 1 mon. That could fit in this hand pretty nicely. For Daniel, a pair of the south and also the Sozu right now, and also Manzu, 7 mon. Across the way, I'm seeing a flush coming together here. Pretty nice shapes there. Oh, picking up an Anko of the 8 pin. Just need to get rid of some Sozu and you're all set. And for Jeremy, well, it looks like an Ipeko chance about to come together, but you have that problem of all the Pinzu ending up in Nathaniel's hand right now, so it's going to be a little difficult.
Luckily, Jeremy doesn't need any more Pinzu to complete. Oh my god, that's Tempai for Nathaniel. 6 pin, 7 pin, 9 pin weight. That's awkward.
Yeah. You might wonder why he's not calling Khan. Well, you see why. He's using 3 of the 1 pin and then a sequence. And then you got 6, 7, 8, and the other 8's there.
I bet if he draws... Oh, is 5 pin also a weight here? No, 5 pin doesn't win. I bet if he draws a 4 pin, we'll see a con of the 1 pin.
And the 5 pin, he could call a con on the 8 pin.
That'd be a pretty funny Tonki. A completely dead Tonki on the 9 pin after conning the 8 pin would be fun. We do see Beachin with the call here. Has 2 Yakuhai, the double East and the Hatsu. Nathaniel's got to be wondering why he hasn't won this hand yet.
Yeah, that seemed to be in perfect shape.
But there it is.
Oh, the 7-pin comes out. Chinitsu for a Hanemon there. 12,300 points since it was fully concealed.
Jeremy has dealt into all of the closed Chinitsus so far, I'm fairly sure. Both of them were Dama.
Yeah. Don't need to draw attention to something that high point value, for sure. But take a look at this starting hand for Daniel as he takes on Dealer now. 8 Mons the Dora. We see 2 of them in this hand.
Yeah, I mean, and
but you're seeing something else, I think.
Yeah, the on the left, Beachin now. Beachin's hand is just so fascinating. You're one away from an Itsu, and was dealt one away from just being Tenpai, and has shifted to a more valuable hand here. Could even get Pinfu out of this if you draw the 5-pin before you complete that 3-4 mon shape.
Only 1 5-pin discarded, the rest unaccounted for, but there's another one also discarded. Now you're going to start to kind of worry about things if you're in Bishen's shoes here.
Yeah, could toss the West, and does. Taking the more efficient route. Nathaniel making a shift towards Tanyao, keeping that 7-mon in hand to be able to accept Dora.
Boom.
And now Nathaniel calling a triplet of the 4-so. It's not an Anko anymore, of course. Good Anko of the 5-so to go along with it. Well, you could make that a pair and a sequence, as we saw in his... Well, it wasn't his, but the... No, it was his pairs, right? His Honitsu that he just won. Yeah. Chinitsu, rather.
We've seen Nathaniel make this sort of play a couple of times tonight, where his hands not really coming together, but he does have shapes, and it's not happening by draws, so he just decides to speed it up to try and catch up with the closed hands around the table.
Helping those who helps themselves.
Daniel feeding him anything else, though.
Yeah. Trying to get that one together. Across, Jeremy's got, well, a competitive hand, but it's going to need to come together pretty quick here.
Well, I mean, it's such a wide Ishanten. 8-pin, 5-pin, 4-pin, 2-pin, 9-mon, 6-mon.
Yeah. So it could come together pretty quick.
Who's Tenpai? Tenpai for Beachin. Drew the 4-mon, paired up the 4-mon, and it's now Dama waiting on the 5-pin. It's a horrible wait, which is likely why that Dama is occurring over there.
But now, should the last 5-pin come out, you can call it. But we're just about to the end of the hand here. Only 10 tiles left.
There's Tenpai for Jeremy. Is going to call the Ricci.
On a thin wall.
A thin wall and thin 5-pins and 8-pins. We see 3 5-pins. We see 3 8-pins. That does still mean that there are 2 left in the wall.
That is true.
Over 10% of the tiles gets the 8-pin.
8-pin. I mean, I keep mixing those up, but what?
The Hanemon before Ura doesn't get any Ura, but still.
That's an incredibly clutch play by Jeremy here, as he moves into a very strong 3rd place. Easily can punch his way into above 30k and beyond to get 2nd or even 1st as we move into East 3.
So many terminals and honors in this hand.
Yeah, it's
9,
a rather difficult one. 9. Oh, we're seeing an 8-4-8 discard. We got Kokoshi on the brain. You do have a Dora 7-pin, though, that you might want to think about, but I don't know if he's totally ready to commit to this yet, but it's there.
Oh, wow. Look at Beachin's hand.
Oh. Wow.
2-2, 3-3, 4-4-4, 5-5. The Monzu
calls a 5.
Out of control.
And could be dropping the rest of them here pretty soon. Has a Dora 7-pin, though. You kind of don't need it if you've got this kind of Monzu shape. In fact, there goes the Dora.
Getting rid of it before it becomes more dangerous. Nathaniel fully committing to the Kokoshi here. More than likely not committing to Kokoshi so much as just getting rid of dangerous tiles now
Yeah.
and will fold later.
Well, I think he sees the two calls across the table and knows, well, Kokoshi's got a pretty slim chance of having enough time to fully mature, especially when you've got one of the nines just discarded, a Hatsu, three Hatsu gone, so you're waiting on one more of those. So I think he's hedging his bets, kind of going for it. I mean, you've got two easts and two souths now, and two tunes.
If I was in Nathaniel's position, I'd probably just be tossing entirely safe tiles at this point. Nathaniel's not doing that. Like, that 6-peen was not entirely safe. Neither was the 5-peen. He's just continuing to kind of push for this hand.
We've got Chinitsu across the table now, though, for Bichen.
Still Ishanten. Oh, Nathaniel could get Chitoy.
Oh, well, now look at this. Nathaniel discarding the Haku. Think that might be it for the Kokoshi, but now he's got 5 pairs in the honors.
Ishanten.
Yeah, Ishanten for Chitoy here.
Honroto Chitoy. Holding on to all those Manzu. No way to get to Tenpai without having to discard one of them.
Mm-hmm. You know, you don't hear of many successful Kokoshi pivots, but this might just be one here.
Bichen trying to select a weight, ends up deciding on the 8-mon. There's only one left. Oh, that's tricky.
It's off in Jeremy's hand right now. I don't see him dropping that because it's a very standard hand, but it's one that may just win here.
I don't see it either. The could have discarded the 9-mon. There's a lot more 6-mon out than there are 8-mon. However, wanted to take the sneakier weight. When you know everyone's watching out for your Chinitsu, you might have to be a little bit more creative. Can also draw a 9-mon or a 7-mon for an Ontonsu weight.
See about that. But this hand is almost over now.
There's the Ontonsu. 1-mon, 4-mon, 7-mon will be the new weight for Bichen.
Go for it. Very nice there, but unfortunately not enough time. But good Tenpai for Bichen, picking up 3,000 points. Good consolation prize, I'd say. But speaking of an influx of honors, looking at our dealer's hand here, as Jeremy takes over, once again, a similar shape here. They're not unique honors, though, so I don't really see...
This is perfect. I mean, this is like a Toy blitz here. It's not so much a Toy rush as just a Toy hyperspeed.
I feel like Jeremy is picking up where Nathaniel left off in many respects with this hand.
Nathaniel's hand never improved at all, and so Jeremy, just kind of starting where Nathaniel ended, but Nathaniel going to try and end it prematurely, calling the seat pay already.
Good move. Of course, the Dora being the 7-pin right now, and that's in Daniel's hand as he called early Ricci after calling a concealed con of the 2-mon.
Pulled in the 5-pin to make the pair there.
So he's waiting on the 6-pin, 9-pin. 6 almost dead. It's the Dora indicator. Of course, we should point out the new Dora is 8-pin. He's got one of those as well. And that puts Bichen in a weird spot. Going to discard that Dora 8-pin. Probably a risky move there on his part, but...
I mean, only 3 tiles had been discarded. It's really,
I know. You don't have a lot of clues. You don't have a lot of clues, and when your only thing is, maybe I should just discard the Dora here, that's risky no matter how you slice it.
And Jeremy's got to be pretty flummoxed at this point. Has not had an opportunity to call anything except for the 1-mon when Daniel called Ricci. But you've gone so long without any improvements. Are you really going to start pushing 3 Shanten against last place and a con?
I don't think so.
Not when you have this sort of safety. Could still get to Tenpai here. This is a perfectly fine 2 Shanten.
By using that dangerous tile, for sure.
Good call, Chi. Does not. The 3-pin is also safe. Could go Ipeco, could go Honitsu still.
You'd have to find the last 6-mon.
There's a Hatsu.
Ooh, Hatsu Anko. Hatsu Anko, not Suanko with a hat. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Or a very high temperature Suanko.
Oh, yeah. Point there. 9 Peens coming into hands now. Does not look safe at all, so they're going to hang on to it.
Yeah, Beechin's hand has been so close for so long, but just keeps on refusing to deal in.
Yeah, and it looks like he's folding now, putting down the 4 pin that we saw Nathaniel just drop.
But like, it's still Tushantin. Like, has never gotten all that far away from Tenpai, whereas Nathaniel's kind of had to completely dismantle his hand. And look at this drop for Jeremy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
But he's gonna put it back. It's safe. Chun is safe.
Well, but there was still a Chun live. I don't know. I really feel like Jeremy's going for this. Yeah,
Oh no!
It's a turn 3 Ricci. Anything could be dangerous. Anything could be safe. I mean, at this point, you have a lot more information, but the hand was Ishanten. You had something to fight for, but elects not to, and I mean, could still get Tenpai, just not a winnable one.
Yeah. Well, now he can't. This is the last tile now. Who?
Might call to prevent another draw, and does. That was not a call for Tenpai or anything. Just preventing Daniel from having the under the sea draw, the Haite draw.
That'll be him alone in Tenpai, getting 3,000 points from the other players. As we move into South 1. Yeah, I just kind of saw all those hands get really big and tall, and then just stop. It's sadly what can happen sometimes.
Nathaniel seemed willing to push for a while, but then just wasn't getting anything in, and abandoned the hand when the 9 pin came in. Oh, Jeremy now with pairs of Hatsu and Haku, a singleton Chun.
Looking nice. I mean, Daisangen is a dream you might have here. Still a ways off. One of the Chun just arrived in Daniel's hand not long ago. And in that hand, well, we could see it come out, and it's unfortunately coming out too soon for that Daisangen chance. But there's still 2 Chun left. As far as other pairs, though, take a look at the dealer's hand. We have 4 already here. And some good close shapes. Good sequences in. Oh, Jeremy picking up the other Chun.
Eeks.
But we're going to have a Ricci from Nathaniel. That's Ricci, Pinfu, Nodora. Just Ricci, Pinfu.
Waiting on the 4 and the 7 pin. 2 7 pins in Jeremy's hand. And one of the 4s in the dealer's hand, Bishen.
This is the second round in a row that Jeremy has had just a wildly callable hand and has gotten absolutely nothing from it. Does Jeremy toss a 7 pin here to hold on to the Dragon Dream, or maybe toss away a complete run? Tossing away a complete run, the 7 pin would be the pair in a Daisangen hand. Beechin entering Tenpai, waiting 2-so 5-so, immediately gets it from Ricci Nathaniel. Yes, incredibly good move. Yeah, we'll take first.
Yeah, picking up the Ricci stick's going to give him first place there. 38,000 points. Great move there. As Bishen continues as dealer in South 1. New Dora, 5 pin. And that could fit in this hand, perhaps. Otherwise, good shapes, though, in Manzu. But a lot of disconnected shapes right now. Daniel, meanwhile, good shape in the Sozu and in the Manzu. That hand's looking quite the contender here. Early south call by Bishen. Across the way, Nathaniel has a couple pairs of his own. Good sequences. Also could be a contender, especially with that 7-so pickup. Very nice. And over on the left, just picking up a Dora, Jeremy is. And That could fit nicely
Yeet.
into this hand, perhaps. Some good shapes coming together. But Daniel calling Ricci, waiting on the 5 and the 8 pin.
Ricci Pinfu, potentially Adora. I don't know if anybody was paying attention, but when Beachin called the South, when Beachin made that South pawn, he discarded the 9 pin away from the 7 pin 9 pin shape. If Beachin had discarded the 2 mon or the 5 mon, that would have been Ishanten, but
Yeet.
elected to take the incredibly wide 2 Shanten instead. It would be interesting to talk about that decision, but it was so long ago, and now we have another Ricci from Nathaniel waiting
Just
for
keeps
7
developing.
mon.
4 mon,
Ricci
7
Pinfu
mon.
Adora.
Bishan picking up an 8 pin.
Only one more tile left in the wall for Daniel. Oh, it gets
And
it!
gets it!
And it
5
was the Dora!
Incredible pickup there for a Mongon, I believe. Yes, that's
Ricci
a
Dora
Mongon.
Pinfu Sumo.
Yeah, a great pickup there. 27,200 points. That's going to be 3rd place for Daniel. And now he's dealer and can easily jump further. Still a pretty close game here, honestly, in South 2.
Not actually quite a Mongon. Since it was a Pinfu Sumo, it was just a little bit shift. Just 5,200 plus 3 Honba. So
Yeah,
61.
The Honba. Yeah, the Honba making it look bigger than a de facto Mongon, basically.
God, this hand for Daniel though.
Yeah, very nice. 2 shapes already locked in. Pair of the 1 so. The door is 4 mon. Doesn't look like he's going to need it though. On the right, see a good shape there. 2 good shapes. 1, 2, 3. Possible Sanshoku chance if you get the Manzu getting in step there. Across the way, an Anko of the 4 mon. Good shapes in this hand around it as well. Looking pretty nice. And on the left, we see good shapes in Pinzu and Manzu, as well as some good shapes in Sozu as well. Calling the Hatsu early as well.
That is a headless Ishanten for Beachin. Daniel pulling in Adora, changing out which shape is the complex pair shape. Toss to the Chuso, keeping the 4 mon, hoping to pull in the 3 mon.
Gee.
I actually would have been interested to see a 2 mon discard, but you don't really need to. You could still pull in a 5 mon and just discard away from the 1 so pair. We do see Tenpai now for Beachin after pairing up the 3 so, waiting on 5 so 8 so.
1 of each discarded, 1 of each in Jeremy's hand. 2 more of each in the wall.
Daniel passing the 2 mon pawn could have taken an Atazuke Tenpai. Does not want to though. Katagiri from Nathaniel.
Picks up the 5 so. Bishan picking up 1 Han, but 1,100 points.
Just pushing dealer along. Definitely benefits first place Beachin.
As we move into South 3, sadly, Daniel's shot ends there. But
Well,
he still has shots to.
Everyone's so close though. You don't need to be dealer to get out in front.
Exactly,
Among
I was about to
Sumo
say.
still puts Daniel first.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Mongon Sumo, well, I mean, anything could happen with this hand we're seeing on the dealer right now, but 3 pairs so far.
When you
Potential
start
for
with
others.
nothing, that just means you could get anything.
Exactly. And that pickup of the 7 mon is going to help things as well. Take a look at Ichiban's hand, Jeremy here. Good sequences in the Pinzu. Decent, also good in the Manzu. 2 already set in this hand. Pair to go with them. Across the way, good Sozu presence here. I think we see a flush coming up, maybe even a straight flush. Let's see. On the left, for Daniel, you've got 2 pairs, and that's about it.
Yeet.
Starts to try to draw some together, but with this Ricci, it's going to be tough to chase with that. Waiting on the 3 mon for Nathaniel's hand.
Classic Suji chat. Suji of the Ricci tile. This is one of the reasons that Suji on the Ricci tile is so much more dangerous than other Suji.
Indeed. We only see one 3-mon in hand right now.
Don't.
And it comes
it
right
comes
out.
out!
Hook, line, and sinker into the Suji trap for 3,000 points for Nathaniel. Oh, and look at this hand. Wow, 2 Dora and some great Sozu tiles to go along with it. Great sequences. Yeah, this is going to be pretty dangerous going forward here.
It's getting good draws off the bat.
Incredible. I think it's going to go rather quickly from the looks of things, especially around the table. Jeremy calling a 1-2-3 pretty early. That's Otozuke. Hoping he picks up the South for a double South just to bring something home here, I think.
Yeah, being last dealer really wants to move things along. If you could win a double South here, that puts you in really good position to try and overtake in all last.
Across the way, good pairs there in a sequence, but with the pace the other hands are going, might not be a contender. Well, that 4-pin might change things. And looking on the left for Daniel, well, you've got some good shape so far. That's looking pretty nice. Again, it's going to be a race. It's pretty neck and neck for all these players right now.
Ishan 10 for Nathaniel. Tenpai for Jeremy. Otozuke waiting on the South. Hasn't entered anyone's hands yet.
7 would also technically complete the hand, but wouldn't be a Yaku.
Slightly better Ishan 10 for Nathaniel now. Wait, this is Tenpai waiting on 7-so.
You're right.
That's Ipeko. So can win Dama. Ipeko Dora 2.
So we've got a tug of war now between Nathaniel and Jeremy.
But Jeremy's got the 7-so.
Yeah. Jeremy's got the 7-sos. But there's one more not accounted for. It's all going to matter who picks it up.
I mean, at Beachin.
Each.
Oh, do you drop it here?
Yes, because it's a 2-3-6-9 weight.
Oh, very nice.
This weight is absolutely absurd.
Oh, incredible.
Ricci Dora 3.
2, 6, 7, or 9. A lot of them already down, but a lot to still come out of the wall. We see one picked up.
The 7 doesn't work. The 7 is for Jeremy. 2, 3, 6, 9 is all for Nathaniel.
And he gets the last South!
Jeremy ends it with the South. Had no idea
Oh my gosh.
the hand that he just prevented from building.
Which had every weight in the world. Meanwhile, he had one possible tile he could have won with and gets it. I mean, if this was pro wrestling, you'd be calling this some kind of David and Goliath story here, where he just gets that stone right between the eyes, you know?
Yeah, wrestling, very well known for people throwing stones mid-match.
Oh, okay. I mixed in a biblical reference there, I suppose, but...
I mean, the Bible is really just like the pro wrestling rule book last I checked.
You know what? Fair enough. Moving on to all last now, we have a very close match here as Jeremy picks up the dealership here. Anko of the White Dragon. You're seeing something there, I hear.
And Daniel Ishanten, a very callable Ishanten with the Seat Wind West already pwned. There's Tenpai. Daniel just wants to win anything. Any win is good for, I mean, that is West Dora 1. That does not get Daniel above 30K. It does, however, get Daniel. Oh, there it is. That's going to be third place for Daniel. Jeremy with a very thin fourth here. And even with that deal in, Beachen's still going to get first.
Incredible. That just shows how close this match was. But there you go. Scores in the books now. Beachen taking an additional 18.6. Nathaniel with 6.2. And Daniel losing 6.9. And Jeremy losing 17.9. Not a whole lot of change on the leaderboard with this one. But... we still have one more game to go here. I think it's going to start pretty soon.
In a minute, I believe.
Yes. Wow.
I mean that first place and last place score were scores that you wouldn't be surprised to see in second place or third place. So honestly, no one can really be too upset about how that game went. Obviously, you'd like to get a better position when first was so close the entire game. No one ever pulled away.
No, I mean, I think admirably, everybody kept to their guns, played really great defense, despite a lot of pretty big offensive plays we saw as well.
Well, I want to see the graph for this game. Yeah, the graph for this game is just like 4 straight lines. There was a little bit of
Oh,
action
yeah.
in the East 1-1, but then after that, it was just all like getting tighter and tighter.
Looking
A
at that now,
28-minute
too.
game.
20,
Two
yeah, very
Hanamans.
quick. Which I'm sure they're thankful for since they decided to play all 4 of these games tonight, especially after 2 pretty big games we just came from. But we'll see what happens in the finale, which should get underway any second. In fact, here we go. There's the gong. Dora is south to start with. Jeremy was our last dealer last game, his first dealer this game, already with 4 pairs, with the East and the Reds here as well. Calling the Reds
Yeah.
immediately. Very quick, good scoring hand to start with. But
Colin
look at
dip.
Daniel's hand here. Then you look at that and see, wow, Uncle of the Whites, Greens, he was
Gee.
probably thinking he might have had a chance with the tunes just a minute ago, but I'm going to have to say bye to that.
The rest of the hand is just so bad. You
Yeah,
need shapes, in desperate need of shapes. Now you have 5
that's
blocks.
6. No, that 6 helps. But now you've got 3, 4 of a different suit, and a 4 that is completely irrelevant, just picking up and throwing back.
Jeremy made a call that kind of
Tone.
wiggled himself out of being able to use the double tone, but drew the 6-peen and is immediately gonna get it. Now waiting 2-peen, 5-peen. Honitsu, double
gosh.
tone tune.
Man, and just keeping the energy from the last game and just bringing it with him.
Do you change? Oh, I would change this. I love 4-peen,
I
5-peen
think
right
you
here.
do, yes.
Nah.
Not going to. Maybe
Just-
that Katagiri, though. Well, let's see. The 5, there's 1 5 discarded, 1 5 in hand, and 2 2s that are accounted for at the moment.
The reason I like the 4-peen, 5-peen way a little bit better is you have 3 of the 6-peen. So that makes the 5-peen just slightly harder to use.
Hmm.
Obviously, it's a middle tile. You can still make use of it, but you can also very easily set up a Suji trap that way. Since you do not have a Rhiannon weight. Obviously, a Suji trap is impossible when you have a Rhiannon weight. Everyone just tossing every Mansu. Beachin, the only person with any left in hand.
I haven't looked at Bishen's hand very closely yet, but yeah.
That is
Um,
Ishanten.
He's Shanten for sure. What if he's going to push with that despite these calls?
The Dora South, which was only once cut, so it could have looked pretty dangerous. Daniel now Tempai waiting 3-so.
Mm,
If Daniel can draw another 1-so, it would actually be Tempai for Chanta as well.
Ooh, 5-pin picked up by Nathaniel. Gonna hang
Oh,
on
there's
to
a
it.
2-pin.
There's a
That's
2-pin. That's
either fold or deal in. What's Daniel gonna choose? Fold.
He's gonna fold.
Which is perfectly fine. I mean, that's
Yeah.
actually not even necessarily a fold. You have Yakuhai.
Yeah,
You could still hone the 1-so, chi the 3-so, either one, and be Tempai waiting on the 2-pin Tanki.
There's not a lot of time to do that, but technically is possible.
Formon looks fine.
There's the door south.
Nathaniel out of this hand. Beachin pretty much out of this hand as well.
That
Con!
2-pin
Con!
does
Do
help.
it! Do it, Daniel!
You have
Do
nothing
it!
to lose.
Ah.
Besides not to. Oh. I think the momentum's kind of boiled out now. And people are just trying to play it safe. Ooh, that
Can discard the 2-so for Tempai, and does.
Nice. Using that dangerous tile for Tenpai now. Picking up 1,500 points right at the very end, along with Jeremy, as they continue on with East 1. Oh, and look at this dealer hand now. Dora 3-pin, an Anko of that in the dealer's hand to start with, along with some very nice Pinzu shapes right now. Good stuff in the Sozu as well, but you don't need it because you just got an Anko of the 9-pin as well.
Well, I don't
Incredible start.
know. I'm much less enthused about this hand. You love the 3-pin Anko, but you have so much drawing left to do. Your
That is
your
true.
1-2 so shape is clunky. You have all of these individual honors that have all already been cut.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
This is going to be a hard hand to complete despite the incredible value.
Pretty slow. And looking at the other hands too, you do have some cause for concern with that. Pretty decent hand for Daniel here. A pair and an Anko in the Sozu. Good shapes in the Pinzu at the moment. Across the way, Nathaniel picking up a shape of the Pinzu right now. And a
Ishan
good
10.
Ishan 10 with the good Manzu shapes in there. And on the left, good stuff for that hand as well. 2 pairs in Sozu, good shapes in Manzu right now. It's all kind of coming together. That 1 pin's going to help things as well. And we go back to Jeremy's hand and see not a whole lot has changed, unfortunately. Still has the same problems we were seeing before.
1、
Gonna call to move things up a little bit here.
Yeah, gonna try and force it. That is not quite Tenpai for Nathaniel. Nathaniel's still in a headless shape here. That's a good draw for Jeremy.
1、
No Pinzu have been discarded by anybody. That's the first Pinzu discard by any player. Oh, I guess the 1 Pin was discarded. Oh, never mind. I'm full of it.
That's okay. It was the second one. Now the third one. And now they're starting to come out just because there's safe tiles against this Ricci from Daniel. Waiting on the 7 pin.
Suji. 7 Pin Suji.
4、
And there it goes. Hook, line, and sinker yet again for a Suji trap. It must be 2 Han, 3,900 points, but it will give Daniel a small lead in the early goings here. East 2 begins now, waiting on the 6 Mon. Sorry, that's the Dora's 6 Mon. We're not waiting on anything just yet. I imagine Daniel's waiting on that, though. We have a pair of the Norths in this hand. Otherwise, not a whole lot to really write home about on this hand. And he's just discarding honors and terminals and seeing how that goes from here.
Beachin definitely with the furthest along hand at this point.
Yes, look at that. So you have 2 pairs right now in the honor suits, a pair in the Pinzu as well. Good shapes going on there. Ooh, that 6 pin pickup. That's, well, not quite. He's a, well, that's Ishan 10. That is Ishan 10.
Yeah. Ishan 10, you call one of the Yakuhai, the other one's your pair. And you can Chi, 2 so, 5 so, and you're not even on Suzuki.
Not to be outdone, though, take a look at Nathaniel's hand with 2 Dora in that Manzu shape and some good additional shapes there. That could be a quick hand with a lot of heft to it. Making a call of the 5 so. Looks like he's going for Tanyao here.
And immediately we're going to have Tenpai from Beachhead calling Ricci waiting on Haku Hatsu.
1、
Haku Hatsu in a time where you start to get a little bit suspicious of them if they haven't been dropped yet. So we'll see what happens there, but otherwise it's all on the wall. Good chance just plops in your hand.
It's one of those times where you don't... Oop, there's Tenpai for Nathaniel waiting 1 Mon, 4 Mon. Can only win on the 4 Mon. This is Atazuke for Tanya Dora 2.
Right.
It's one of those things where you don't really recognize that the dragons haven't been discarded until you draw one, and then you draw it and you look at it and you say, wait a second, something's not right about this.
Daniel picking up and dropping the 1 Mon again doesn't deal into Nathaniel's hand.
Daniel would love a 1 Pin here. Ooh, that 7 Mon doesn't deal in either.
Yes,
that's why Daniel needs the 1
hand.
Pin.
Yeah, also Atazuke.
Well, not Atazuke, just no Yaku.
Oh,
but there's the Sumo!
Ooh, picks up, just like I said.
Ricci,
Drops
Sumo,
right in your
Haku,
hand.
Dora 1.
No Ura, but 9,000 points when you factor in the Ricci stick coming back. A great Mongon here to keep things moving.
Beachhead
For
once again
Beachhead.
on top of this table.
Wow, 36,500. Everybody wished he'd probably get off because he's probably tilting it and moving the tiles everywhere. But we're moving on to East 3. Dora is the 3 pin. 4 pairs in this hand already for Nathaniel. And some good Ipeko shot at this as well with that 7 so pickup. He's going to complete another shape here. Very
Ishan
nice
10.
start. Ishan 10 for Nathaniel.
Could also just call for Tanyao.
It's a similar story on Bishen's side, though. Ipeko shot here. Well, the rest of the hand's not quite coming together in the same way, but
Chanta, though?
it's trying. Yeah, Chanta. Chitoi Chanta, if that's a thing. I don't think it is.
It's not. Chitoi Chanta is just Honroto.
Oh, yeah, good point.
All terminals and honors.
Yep.
It'd be interesting to see what Beechen's willing to call.
Cross
Tossing
away
the one,
Jeremy.
so
With this hand, that's a little awkward, but it's good shapes. Just how you go with it.
all right, there we go. We found out what Beechen's willing to call. The 9-so is the answer. Probably anything that helped the hand. A 3-peen would have instantly been cheated as well, I'm sure. But the 3-peen is staying with Nathaniel for now. That 9-peen's unhelpful. Where are the Souths? None in hand yet. Same is true for the 9-mon. Oh, and now the 3-peen will not leave Nathaniel's hand at all. A beautiful San Minchan shape. Now Nathaniel can get Ricci, Tanyao, Pinfu, Dora, possibly Peiko.
Yeah. Say if he picks up the 7-so. On the
Denies
left.
the perfect Ishanten.
Daniel picking up another pair.
The tune is safe. Beechen has already discarded it. Beechen's hand does not look like Chanta. You see that 9-so
Yeet.
call, and you maybe suspect a South, but you don't suspect Chanta. I mean, all of Beechen's discards, other than the 5-pawn, have been 2-8 or outside of that. Like, it is absurd that Beechen has a shot at Chanta right now. Meanwhile, Daniel, Champon, 5-peen, 7-peen.
On the Ricci there. 5-peen's dead. 7 just about. 1-7 left in the wall, though.
リーチ
And now a Ricci called by Jeremy as the
Boom.
6-pin comes right out into that hand and gets a nice Ipatsu for him.
Ricci Ipatsu, Tanyao, Pinfu.
For a Mongon getting in 10,000 more points and the lead for Jeremy. Great move there. Let's move into East 4.
I mean, these hands have been brisk.
Yes. Moving very quickly here. Definitely the end of last round pushed us into a very quick game 4 here as we're seeing manifest right before us. Again, we're seeing a lot of pairs in Bishen's hand as he takes over as dealer. A couple pairs. Well, now we're down to 3 pairs. It's 3 pairs. Good shape though in Sozu though.
Perfect 2 away.
Yes. Meanwhile, Jeremy with a couple pairs of his own. Good shapes forming up here. See how that develops. Daniel across has, some shapes, but nothing really set yet. We'll see how that goes. At least the tiles are all pretty close together, so that's encouraging. And Nathaniel, has a couple pairs of his own, 3. And good shapes there. Well, not great shapes. A lot of just odds there in the Pinzu and some evens in the
リー
Sozu.
チ
Pinpai now for Beechen, Ricci Pinfu. Tanyao, actually, guaranteed.
Definitely the hand I was thinking about would come across. Had a shot at Sanshoku there. I suppose he... No, not quite. Not quite Sanshoku, but...
Could never pick up the 7-so.
Tanyao's nice, though. I think this is a perfectly respectable hand, especially being dealer. It's going to be nice and quick. 5-mon, 8-mon are the weights here.
Enough to get you first.
Yes. 8-mon's been discarded twice. And there's a 5 in hand and another 8 in hand. So a lot on the wall left for Bishen. A great weight here.
Really surprised that Daniel was willing to toss that 1-so. There was a Kabe on the 2-so. So four two so were visible, make it impossible to have a Ryanman wait on the one so, but it was still Dora. Dora is always scary unless it is Genbutsu. And even then, you're still scared to throw it because maybe someone else is Dama waiting on it. But there's the 5-mon sumo.
Very nice. Ricci, Sumo, Tanyao with something else there that just flashed away.
Pinfu.
Pinfu, thank you. I don't think we're going to see Pinfu in this hand, though. Take a look at it. Pairs in, well, now a called triplet of the Chun. You still have the Hatsu ready to go, and Anko of the 3-so as well. This is going to be another quick one, I think, for Bishen. To get on, he's already back on top of the table, as you said, and he could pound it a little bit more and get even further in the lead.
And could actually still call the Hatsu, even though that's his pair currently. You just call the Hatsu and drop a 3-so at a little bit more value. And
Very
there's the
nice
8-pin. Pulls in Dora, now waiting 6-mon, 9-mon.
Yeah.
2 of the 9-mon already gone.
Yep. And 2 of the 6-mon in the hand of Jeremy right now. 2-6 left in the wall, of course. I don't think those 6-mon are coming out. They make a pretty nice pair for this hand, but it's still not quite fully formed at this point. But that doesn't matter. Last 6-mon, or the second to last 6-mon comes out. That'll be 4,200 points for Bishen. We got very quickly there. Could do it again with this hand as we continue East 4. Dora is again 1-so. He's got one of those already. Anko of the 7-pin, a pair of the 8-pin as well. Good shapes in Pinzu overall. Good
That's
shapes
Tenpai.
in Sozu. Already Tenpai.
Daniel.
For
Can't
Nathaniel.
win, though. Did not want to call Ricci waiting on the 4-mon. Wanted to wait for better things.
Yes, we should probably take a look at that hand. Yeah, it's come together nicely. He's going to shift things around a little bit, though.
Daniel seems very unwilling in general to take these Kanchan weights, especially if they're early. Has been waiting around to improve several of them. Once again, I feel like I have a very low Ricci rate. I feel like I still might have slammed the button on this one just because there's so few tiles that do it. Like, there's only 2 tiles really that improve your weight here.
You've not dropped really any clues about what you've got. All the people can really do, all the other players can do is just keep playing pretty much and hope they don't deal into you.
All right, and Nathaniel probably would not be Tenpai right now if Daniel had called Ricci. Nathaniel cannot win.
Each.
But now we see Daniel throwing the stick in and Nathaniel doing the same.
Sumogiri chase.
Wow, incredible.
1-so, 4-so wait for Nathaniel, waiting on the Dora there, while Daniel is waiting for 4-mon, 7-mon. 2 tiles left in the wall for Daniel, and 3 left in the wall for Nathaniel.
Say that's pretty even going right now.
3rd and 4th in direct competition with each other. There's another 4-mon.
Sumo.
Oh, and the 7-mon!
Incredible pickup there for a lot of points. That's going to be a Mongon with the Uradora. Bringing him to 2,700 points and a very strong 3rd place position. That'll bring us to the half. Still anyone's game, really, if you take a look at the scores right now. I mean, as we've seen, one move can bring you, can really turn the tables here. Jeremy starting off as dealer for South 1. The door is Su-mon right now. And difficult starting hand here for Jeremy. You got some good shapes. Have a couple Easts, though, so that's going to help things out. Daniel's got the other East you might want to look for. A couple of pairs here, actually 3. For the Pinzu looking great right now. Monzu also looking good. Pick up another pair there. It's going to drop the East, which is going to get called by Jeremy. Across the way for Nathaniel, we see good shapes forming here. Picking up, well, they're forming. It's just not quite there yet. But it's all pretty close together. There's a Dora 2, so good stuff happening. Jeremy calling the Sozu 1, 2, 3 from Bishen right now. as he tries to get this hand together. Good shapes coming around, but is going to need some work to get this going here.
Daniel throwing away. Okay, that shape was Furited. That's why Daniel's throwing away the Ryanman and the Sozu there. I had to take a second to look at it.
Nathaniel picking up another Dora.
Yeah, kind of forced into throwing away a good one of good shapes. Just has too many of them. Keeping the potential for Sanshoku alive, though, could still get that. Yep, and is in fact trying to hold on to that. The 3-so, I guess, would be the worst draw to Tenpai for Nathaniel, though he would obviously insta-Richi. I guess maybe not obviously. You already have a Mangon without the Richi, so you don't exactly need to.
Jeremy angling toward a half flush here with these discards. You already have the East out there, so you have Yaku. This just makes it all the sweeter.
Bichin, I'm sure, is going to be unwilling to feed him any more So tiles, if at all possible.
Eat.
And there's Tenpai.
There you go, Nathaniel.
Not the desired Sanshoku, but it's still Richi Penfu, Tanyao, Dora 2.
3-sided weight, 3-so, 6-so, and 9-so.
Sumo for Hanuman. And Sumo's, well, these tiles are a lot more gone than you might expect. The 7-so.
But there it is.
Doesn't get the
9-so.
Tanyao.
No Tanyao, but Dora 2, no Uradora. It's going to be just a Mongon, but just a Mongon is putting it a little mildly. That's going to be a good, still in 4th, but not too far away from 3rd now.
And pulled Jeremy below 30k.
That's also a good move. We go on to South 2 now. The Dora is 4-pin. You have a pair of the Hatsu in this hand and one of the Doras as well. Good shapes here. I believe something's caught your eye somewhere else on the table, though.
Mochi Haku for Jeremy and Beachin.
Oh, yeah. That's always awkward.
Jeremy maybe has a little bit. Oh, no. I was about to say Jeremy has an advantage because he could also go for Hornitsu, but just ditches the Haku completely, giving it to Beachin.
I was going to say possibly go for Chitoi with 3 other pairs in hand, but no, he's turning his back on it. Now, Hatsu called by Daniel.
The double south of Nathaniel's hand.
Looking at the other hands here, Nathaniel has a pair of the Souths right now. Double South. He's got South Seat and South Round, so that could be worth some points. Good shapes in Sozu. We've got more calls going on here, though. Daniel calling 2, 3, 4 to get the Hatsu Nomi further along.
Oh, Hatsu Dora Sanshoku.
Oh, no, you're right. Yeah. Tenpai for that now. Waiting on the Dora indicator. Always a little dangerous tile to play, but might just steal it.
After watching this group of games, I'm convinced that every weight on the Dora indicator tile is a Sanshoku. Sanshoku Kanchan, always.
I mean, that's not a bad way to go about it, I suppose, because then you're almost guaranteed a Dora along with it.
Nathaniel flummoxed with what to discard here.
Yeah.
Tossing the 2-so. More Manzu for Jeremy. Going the Tanyao route. Ishanten now. Although that Tanyao not guaranteed with 2 shapes that could end up at the terminal.
Nathaniel calling 6, 7, 8 in the Manzu.
And ditching the pair of Souths. Oop, the 2-so came back to hand.
Does he keep it this time?
Yeah, I think so.
I think you do, yes.
You're already getting rid of the non anyway. Could chi this for Tenpai. It does. 4-pin.
Now waiting on the 4-pin.
Dora.
And the 3-pin? No.
Just the 4-pin. The 3-pin is just Daniel's way.
Right.
Oh no. Okay. This is the
Mm.
7 mon. Tenpai now for Jeremy. 4 Peen, Atazuke. So we got 2 people waiting on the door. 4 Peen. Now we've got Tenpai across the table, also waiting 4 Peen, 7 Peen. So we
Oh,
have
my.
3 Tenpai all waiting on the Dora. There's a 7
Oh,
Peen.
no.
Daniel can discard the 2 Peen and beat Dora Tanki. No.
But drops it and deals in.
God.
It's
all
just
I
1,000
wanted-
points.
All I wanted in life was for Daniel to discard the 2 Peen, go Dora Tanki, and everyone be waiting Dora.
Oh, would have been incredible. Incredible synchronicity, but sadly it was not to be. That'll end Daniel's dealer turn pretty early as he slips to a very thin 4th place. South 3 begins now. Dora is 3 so. I see an Itsu in the future for our dealer here as Nathaniel takes over.
I
Yeah,
see
good.
a win in Beechen's future.
Beechen? Oh, absolutely. Take a look
Oh.
at that.
Getting skipped will not help Beechen get to Tenpai, though.
Oh,
If there's
okay.
one way to slow down Beechen's hand, it's skipping him.
oh,
But,
but Beechen's going to call to get that momentum back. Make up for
Ishin-
that lost time.
Ishinten? I like mixed
Bishanten?
Ishanten. and Bishanten. Oh my god. I can't believe I missed that. Thank you. Thank you so
Bishanten.
much.
There
That's
we
all
go.
I can say from now on. he's
might become his new nickname. Who knows? Oh, do we see a Khan? He's hanging on to that Hatsu.
Gonna wait for the Rinshan match.
1
There's
But
the
now we have
Ricci from
Ricci
Nathaniel.
for Nathaniel.
6P, 9P.
Killing the Apatsu is calling the South.
There's
He's going
Tenpai.
to drop the
Not,
White Dragon.
not Tenpai. Oh, there's a dealer.
Yes, Nathaniel dealing into the dealer here.
Well,
Just
Jeremy dealing in to
Oh,
Nathaniel.
you're right. Names mix up, especially when the big black window pops up and I don't see them anymore.
Ooh.
But anyway, South 3 continues
Hey.
with the dealer going on. Yeah, you're seeing something. I can tell.
No, I just said pay. I just got excited at the pay call. Not first discard, second discard pawn from Daniel on the left.
Good honors right now. A early call from Nathaniel of the 789, calling the East now. No longer Atazuke. Could go for Chanta here. If you get rid of that 4-mon, then that's the only roadblock you've got for the most part. But we also seeing calls from Daniel calling the North Seat Wind and the 1-2-3 Manzu.
Hutsuki Ishanten now for Nathaniel. Nathaniel would love to draw the 9-so or the 7-so. Oh, 5-mon instead. You'll take those. 3-mon, 6-mon, wait.
We see 2-3-mon in Bishen's hand right now.
相撲
As
Oh,
we
there it
see,
is.
oh, doesn't matter. 3-mon picked up for a quick and easy East win there.
1, 2, 8
Counting the
distinct
honors
terminals
there.
and honors. Yeah.
Not gonna
An
go
ugly-
for Kokushi though.
Nah,
It
it's
is
an
an
ugly
ugly
hand, but you could still you still might be able to make Chanta out of it.
Yeah.
Daniel though, Daniel's got some stuff.
Yeah. Great presence of the Sozu right now. A couple of just other tiles from other suits just hanging out there.
Jeremy,
Pretty easy to throw them
Ishanten,
back. But
Oh, I'm
Jeremy,
sorry.
yes. Oh,
Chitoy Door too.
yeah. Ishanten early. How many pairs did he start with? Had to be 4.
Or I think the
guess.
fifth pair came on the second draw.
Yeah. But now he could turn one of those pairs into an Anko if he wants to. Oh, and he's going to
Ooh.
break up one of the pairs to do so.
That's an interesting discard. I think it makes sense though, because
The
you can draw
door is
6-mon or
1-mon.
9-mon. Yeah.
Dora is 1-mon, and so he's got 3 of them now, which is a considerable heft, no matter how you slice that.
This is definitely a wider Ishanten. I maybe would like keeping the 4-mon over the 9-so though. It's just, I don't know. It becomes weird to work around at this point. The tune still not coming out for Nathaniel though.
Yeah. I mean, that's really your one sliver of hope with this hand. It's still just kind of a mess right now.
Garbage draws.
Home.
But here comes the third tune. There you go. you've got a Yaku now. You just have to get a hand to put with it.
Okay. Much better Ishanten now for Jeremy.
Go.
What's going on in Beechin's hand?
Well, it's Tanyao.
It's a good start.
It's
It's
some-
Ishanten, I think.
You've
Yeah.
got those overlapping shapes, yeah.
That's
That's a
Tenpai.
good pickup. There's Tenpai.
5 peen, 1 peen, 4 peen weight, or do you toss 2 peen, go 4 peen, Ipeiko? Yeah.
Okay, going for Ipeiko, waiting just on the 4 peen. Only one dropped so far. One in the hand in Jeremy right now.
1 in the hand in Jeremy.
You know what I'm trying to say.
I
One in Jeremy's hand.
appreciated it.
Yeah. Anyway, and one in the wall. One the wall in something. Anyway.
We're getting creative with syntax here.
Yeah. Or just trying to cover for syntax errors. Meanwhile, COD called by Nathaniel.
Yeah.
With a
Flipped.
tunes there.
Flipped 7 so Dora has one of those. Got
Yeah.
called the con as soon as he got to Tenpai.
Mm-hmm. I also see one of them in Daniel's hand right now.
I would like to note that if Jeremy had stuck with Chitoy, would have gotten Tenpai on turn 12.
Oh.
Drew the pair then. Oh, that's gonna deal.
But he's gonna pick up his closed weight here for Chun Dora 1.
Getting a little bit of separation now. Daniel falling a little bit further into 4th.
And meanwhile, Nathaniel getting a much better shot at the lead as we continue South 3. Dora is 6, so he's got one of those right off the bat with a couple of pairs and good growing shapes in the Sozu right now. See how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, you got to feel good after winning that last hand with how horrifically it started.
We could see an Ipeiko shot now. Yeah, this is a much better put together hand. Yeah, if you can win with that last hand, you can win with anything. And definitely with this.
Get skipped though on that double south pawn, the double non from Beechin there.
That's speed. Yes.
The classic Bishanten now.
Bishanten. It's classic. We just came up with this tonight, but it's classic now.
That's all it takes.
Yep. All right, he just needs to figure out something with that Pinzu shape, and the even Pinzu is just kind of in a sequence there.
Jeremy also won away. Pinfu Dora 1, possible time now.
Chi.
Absolutely, would need the 1 and 4 to really kick that in high gear, but waiting on that would be nice for your Ricci, perhaps.
Nathaniel looking to get some value from a Sanshoku here. Oh, there we go. That's a good step towards it. To toss away the 2-4 so.
And Daniel could get that theoretically. He's got the 7-8-9 locked in for 2 of the suits, has the 7 of the Sozu. I just don't know if that's going to work now that the Ricci has been called by Jeremy.
That's definitely going to change things for Nathaniel. Because, Jeremy being in 3rd, you really don't want to deal into Jeremy. But your chances at first kind of dwindle if you don't win this hand. Oh, and now we have the chase from Daniel. Well, now I feel like that makes things a little bit more clear for Nathaniel. You can't deal into either of these players here, but you don't really have anything that's safe.
Yep.
3 pin, 6 pin weight.
3 pin, 6 pin. 2 is going to help make sure that 3 doesn't come out right away anyway.
We got dueling pin Fudora 1s.
And now look at Nathaniel filling in another shape here.
That's Tenpai.
For Tenpai.
Do you dare toss the 2 pin?
Does not look safe whatsoever, so he's going to drop the 5 instead. Also not a very safe tile.
It was an interesting choice.
Oh, but he picks up the 5!
He gets the sumo!
Oh man, risk and reward for Nathaniel here, as he's now just spitting distance less than 2,000 points from the lead as South 3 continues.
I am so curious why Nathaniel dropped the 5 pin instead of the 2 pin.
Well, it worked out.
It did. It certainly did.
It's a good post-game question. We might need to ask him. But South 3 continues Again, the Dora is 9 so. We see one of those in this hand. I mean, this is a hand that could very easily take the lead, especially picking up that Anko of the 4 pin. Very nice position on the early goings here in this hand. On the right for Bishen, another hand that could be a contender here. Still some floating tiles out there, trying to figure out where they might go. Jeremy across has a couple pairs of his own and some good shapes forming up. Another contender there. Daniel, we're seeing a lot of honors, but they're paired up, so pretty nice there. Could be a Honitsu.
Could be Honitsu Chitoi.
Honitsu Chitoi. Yeah. Yeah, if you get the rest of the pairs together there. But then you have a lot of the single tiles are close to those pairs, so you could go either way with that. You have options.
Tenpai for Jeremy, waiting 3-mon.
3-mon. We have 2 of those in hand, 2 more in the wall.
And both Daniel and Beechin could use another one. That would another 3-mon would put Beechin Bishanten for Chitoi. So he'd obviously take that.
What have I started?
Yeah, this is your fault.
Absolutely.
It's
take
okay.
Full responsibility.
It's wonderful. The 8-mon is a great draw for Daniel for just a but the 3-mon's
the
gonna come out
3-mon's
first.
not a good draw, and that's going to deal into Jeremy to end what was a pretty nice looking dealer streak there. So we move into all last, but ooh, yeah.
This hand.
Yeah, this hand for Nathaniel is still a good shot at the lead. Anko of the White Dragon, he's not going to call con on that because this could be worth more closed.
What is going on around this table? We've got Daniel with 4 pairs, one of which is the South. Nathaniel starting Anko Haku. You've got Beechin with a pair of Wests and a pair of Chun. And then you got Jeremy with just like a normal hand that's, a little bit faster.
Got 4 pairs. Yeah. Oh, man. This is a weird starting out. I kind of just want to sit back and see what happens, which is exactly what we're going to do because we're on commentary. It's our job. But
it'll be interesting to see how long the Chun sticks around in Nathaniel's hand. That's going to determine how much of a shot Beechin has at winning this. Has too many shapes. The Chun might come out now. Nope, is going to hold on to it for a little bit longer.
Yeah. It'd be impossible to make a triplet of those, of course, since Bishen has the last 2 of them. Another pair for Bishen now. Decides not to keep it.
It wants to use the Dora Tuso.
Yes.
Doesn't want to accidentally draw into an Anko of 3 so and be forced into discarding it for Tenpai.
And a good move there, because that'll be another sequence locked in.
Each.
Ooh.
Oh.
Chitoi.
Chitoi Tenpai
Dora.
For Daniel. Waiting on the Dora. Yes, 2 so.
Chitoi Dora Tanki. Sumo for Hanuman.
There's only 1 left in the wall for that sumo to happen. But now with this discard from Nathaniel dropping the 1 so, do we see the 2 so come right beside it?
No way.
I don't think so.
Nathaniel was dropping that just because the 1 so is safe. Advancing his hand while discarding a safe tile. The 6-mon's Nakasuji. Kind of surprised he didn't toss that.
There's the 1 so again.
Jeremy chased with what?
Oh, yes.
Riichi Nomi? 1-mon, 4-mon?
I think so, yeah. It looks scarier than it actually is.
I mean, it looks like Nathaniel and Beechin are just going to fold out.
Yeah.
Perfectly willing to just let this end.
That's a strong second for Nathaniel. For Bishen, a very nice first. They're both pretty happy with their positions, and they have plenty of reason to be.
Actually,
there goes the one on, and that'll deal in for a Riichi Nomi. So that'll be 3,300 points.
Yeah, Jeremy kind of put in a scary situation. You can't let Daniel go uncontested there because Daniel could very easily win and then overtake you, and you're just stuck in last place with nothing you can do about it.
Mhm. But what a great night for Bishen, adding 26.4 more points to that total. It's 88.9 on the night, and he takes the lead in the A1 League leaderboards. Whoa, as we cut away now, it was Nathaniel in second, Jeremy in third, and Nathaniel in, oh, there we go, Daniel in fourth. Daniel losing 30 points, and yes, Jeremy losing 8, respectively.
Beechen,
Yeah,
the only player here walking away positive.
yes, 3 first places, 1 second place. And that is a stellar record to start with. And only shared 1 first place with Jeremy, who even then is still sitting in the negatives at negative 7.1. That's, I mean, still, he's the closest in the negative to 0. And Daniel is going to finish the night with negative 22.5, and Nathaniel dropping into 18th with a negative 59.3. Actually, I think he rose a little bit there.
He did.
Yeah.
He only went up after the first 2 games. Just little hops and jumps.
Yep. Good seconds, though. He did make good seconds here. Yeah. What a crazy night here in A1, for sure.
Yeah, it was a wild set. I mean, Beachhead just seemed to get everything. Played so solid. I mean, all of the players played really solid. I mean, that was just a really great fundamentals game.
Absolutely. You can learn a lot from that for sure. Yeah, but I think Bishan's showing the A1 that, he might have been cheated out of that first place last season, but he's definitely come to play and claim something this time around to finish out this year.
Yeah, there is one more spot left at the league championship table. And Beachhead currently in the lead for that, although Luce and Max are certainly right on his heels. And both Luce and Max well known for being able to rack up the points.
Indeed. And I'm seeing here. Oh no, I'm looking at the summer statistics. I was a little confused with Zhu's zeros there. But yeah.
Yeah, I believe Zhu was on hiatus in summer.
Yes.
I think Zhu, who had incredibly solid play in A2 to promote to A1, then went on hiatus in the summer, has come back and in the first 2 Hanchan shown out very, very well. Vincent, who ranked up from A2 last season, or I guess was in A1 last season after ranking up, and did a very good job in his first season in A1, and is starting off his second season in A1 also very solid. Those last 4 games involve the previously champion Kenyan, who is the one who took the biggest hit.
Yeah, as you can see, down in 19th place, sitting at 60.2 below 0. But that's just after 2 games, so their session's not done yet. As we see Korak, who was broadcasting with me last night, he's sitting at negative 15.9. So we're just about set at the end of this first session, but still a little bit of mahjong to go. We'll be bringing you those matches either right here on twitch.tv/American Ricci, or you can find the link to our Tenho spectator lobby at AmericanRicci.org. And while you're there, if you decided, hey, I want to be a part of this crazy action, you could sign up for our Winter League there, which is going to be getting underway at the start of the new year. But if you sign up early, we might just call on you to be a sub in one of our other matches. So definitely a great way to get your feet wet in the ARML. Should you decide to. Definitely worth it, in my opinion. It's definitely helped me improve my game significantly.
It's also just fun.
Oh, yeah. For sure. I mean, definitely it's fun to, really push and compete for the lead like that, and all the accolades that come along with it. But it's just fun. You meet so many great people in this. I've been saying this a lot lately, a very tight-knit, close Mahjong community. I mean, we just got done with PML tournament, and the Greater Cincinnati tournament's coming up next month. It's just a really fun time to be with this community right now as these in-person tournaments are kind of getting back together, but still lots of online stuff like this.
Yeah, and the community's only getting larger. I think the ARML has done a lot to connect people and bring a lot of people who are on the fringes of the Mahjong community or just getting into it, really, really into the thick of things. I would include myself, one of those number. I just
yeah, me too.
I wasn't really a part of the Mahjong community at all. I just kind of played with a couple of people and then all at once got a lot deeper into it once the ARML started.
Absolutely. Well, you can click that follow button to keep up with our streams as we continue on in this season, the fall season here for the ARML. You can also find our YouTube channel, tinyurl.com/ARMLYT to find our previous streams, and follow us on Twitter at American Ricci. You can also find me personally at SB_Singletary, where I go through my own Mahjong journey, including my recent, I will just say interesting 2-day trial of Roan Roan that I checked out and did okay. You know, I'll just say that. But yeah, you can follow my journey there. And also, I'll be starting up streams on Twitch myself at twitch.tv/smawman. So go ahead and follow there, and you'll be able to be notified when we go live.
If you wanted to find me, you could also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/escapingennui, but I wouldn't do that because I have no idea how any OBS works. So it's mostly just me like saying, "What? Can you hear me?" If you want to find me, the most reliable way is to go outside at 2 a.m., look at the stars, hope it's a clear night, find the constellation Orion, follow the tip of the arrow to the next star you see, and then make a wish to that star. It will take the time as the sound of your wish travels to that star for me to get your message, but there's a 100% guarantee I will get it. Now, it might be a couple centuries from now, but I will 100% get your message if you want to follow me, and I would very much appreciate any love you send my way that in that manner.
There you go. I don't have much to add on that. That's beautiful. Really. But I think that's going to do it for us here. I'm Blaine Singletary along with Tucker, and I think that's going to close things out for now. Thank you for joining us tonight for some incredible action in the ARML, and we will see you all next time.